All right. Thank you, Liz.
You're welcome.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February 2nd Abington Planning Board meeting. Bruce Hughes, Chair. 6 o'clock, we call this meeting to order. And the first item we're going to discuss tonight is Gordon Circle, and we have our consultant Larry Silva with us. So Larry, take it away.
I reviewed the status of the subdivision, and I then provided a report to the board dated December 29th, and at which I went through the issues and what the conditions are now, what they were before, and made some recommendations to the planning board for consideration. There was, I guess this was all prompted because there was a request, I guess, to release the remaining funds. There was an as-built that was done back in, I believe it was '06, I believe.
Yep.
And at that time, it was in relatively good shape. There were some loose ends that still hadn't been addressed, but it was in relatively good shape. But it's currently now a subdivision road that's 20 years old, and it's shown that that kind of wear and tear on it. It still had loose items that were not addressed initially, and but there are 3 families that depend on that roadway for their access. And so in my letter, I tried to go through all the items, and it's really where the board wants to go with it. And I know you had legal counsel actually weigh in on the status of those funds as well. Without getting into all the nitty-gritty details, there is on the second page a listing of specific items that kind of talked about what I saw, and what were maybe issues that if you were even going to entertain doing something or requiring things, these are the items that I identified as either they were not completed, or ones that now have some damage to them that maybe they were good at one time, but they're not now. And it's everything from granite curbing and not being in the right location, or misaligned, or chipping. Sidewalk that's, it obviously in need of an overlay. And there are some places where roots have come through where some of the sidewalk is, causing that to be a problem. And that the grass strip between the curbing and the sidewalk in some areas is low. You can see the back side of the curbing, so it's never been like graded out properly in those areas. The driveway entrance to Lot 1, which is 241 Lincoln Street, it's low, and it allows water to actually go into their driveway. It's not, there's not basically a berm that just basically keeps the water onto the street, so the water goes into the driveway. There are some areas of the pavement that show signs of settlement, and the drainage basin is significantly overgrown near the inlet. You can't even really get to the pipe that comes into the basin very easily. It's all wooded there. Catch basins are covered with leaves and in obvious need of cleaning. So how much issues there are in the lines themselves, I really could not tell. There is no street light at the intersection that was called out on the plan. There's no fire alarm that was visible along the roadway that was called out for. And the only lot markers visible on the ground were near Lot 2. There was some bounds that was in the front, and I didn't know if those were done by the developer, or whether or not those are possibly done by the homeowner. I'm not sure, because I didn't see them anywhere else in the subdivision itself. I provided photographs of the roadway with the letter report, and that's kind of the things that I see that still need to be addressed, so they should be considered if you're looking to do anything with any of the funds that are there. And I know that you had some some input, partially in response to my letter, I think, from council. And I'll let someone else address what that was, but I'd be cautious as to where you go from here. But I know you have an obligation also to the folks that live there, so it's a tough one as far as what you do with it. But my feeling is that there's probably a lot more work there than there is money being held to get things up to snuff.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would just like to add that I did reach out to the fire chief about that item on here. No fire alarm visible along the roadway, and the fire department does not require those anymore.
I saw that comment.
So, yeah, he did get back to us and let you know that the fire boxes
Yeah,
aren't
okay.
Good.
allowed. Not unallowed, they don't require it.
And did we get an opinion from council?
We did. We received two, actually. We received one from Amy Questle and one from Sharon Everett.
You want to do a summary of those, please?
Yeah, Amy Quessel's was, in her opinion, if the roadway was built as required in 2006, the fund should have been released then. The attached letter references an as-built plan from 2006. If the peer reviewer agrees that the as-built was sufficient in 2006, which I don't think you can do, because you didn't go out and see it in 2006, then the town must return the funds and cannot use the funds for maintenance or repairs to things that have happened over time. I note the peer reviewer states the road appears to have been constructed in accordance with the approved plans, but did show aging and in need of maintenance. It is a private road, and repairs, wear, tear are now the responsibility of the owners. I also note that if the roadway was not constructed properly and the bond is seized, before the town can complete any infrastructure improvements in the subdivision, the town must accept the layout of the subdivision road as a townway pursuant, and she quotes Mass General Law, or obtain permission from the property owners to complete the work. Permission of the property owners would typically be in the form of a temporary construction easement granted by all of the property owners to the town. And then Sharon Everett, who does a lot of their land work, I think that her emails in response to what would happen if we didn't take the road. And if the select board does not wish to assume the risk of being sued by the owner of 5 Gordon Circle for damages for a drainage easement, the select board has the discretion not to accept Gordon Circle as a public way. And it is my opinion that a court cannot compel a municipality to make a road a public way. I know other towns that take the same position, that if the town needs rights on abutting lots and those easements are not granted voluntarily for nominal consideration, they will not accept such roads as public ways. So I think the board members had asked me to reach out to council on 2 different issues, and those are the responses
Great, thank you.
from them.
Just to summarize, was taken away the whole wear and tear aspect of things. Taken away the firebox, which is a non-factor now. Was the road built to standard in 2006? Do we know?
I can't say for certain that it was. I mean, I think that when I viewed some of there were photographs. If you go back on Google Earth, you could go back and actually see that roadway way back in time, and it looked like it was in reasonably good shape. But that's only one view. That's not really looking at every aspect of it. But you did have a peer review at that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
In '06?
They didn't review the as-built, though.
They did not review the
No,
asphalt.
I didn't have it till 2025.
Oh, you never saw it?
I never saw the as-built till 2025.
So they never, they never complied with submitting the as-built back then. I don't know why.
Well, they didn't supply the as-built, but I disagree with the attorney in that back in 2006, the road wasn't complete. Maintenance is maintenance, it's time, and the owners, they have to know that but to finish the grading and put the light up seem to be the only 2 things that impact the neighbors. To leave them with any kind of expense really, other than repairing the sidewalks, doesn't seem correct. Nobody has any extra money left for that. I don't know how that works with the money that, well, I guess the sum that we receive from them is just one sum. It's not it doesn't have to be split up into those individual categories.
Well, there is, but there is categories that it was allocated to. And there's in the letter, we show what the categories were for what was being held. Now, that's not with interest or anything.
Yeah.
But it shows like catch basin adjustments, $750. It has each one of them, including the street lighting, there was a 2,000, lot markers, trees and plantings, surveying and engineering, and road maintenance, and there was just a line items. Wasn't a huge fund, but I mean, it was laid out by item. So going along with what you're saying, if you're gonna say, well, that item was obviously done right, then that money's due them. You could go down the list and maybe you could get to identifying most of those, but I don't know if you could get them all.
So my recollection of the conversation we had on this last time around was that the board is not being asked to accept the road. The town's not being asked to accept the road.
Right.
So it'll stay private. That being the case, if the town is not liable in any way for the condition or the repair thereof,
Right.
then I am not sure how much more there is for us to discuss. We return the bond. The bond stays, the road stays private. And we're done.
No, definitely not.
Nope.
I'm one of the owners.
Well, I don't know if you want to wait, right?
He would need to get up there and give us his name and address, unless we're on the phone.
I don't know if we're ready for that.
Okay, that's what I mean.
Okay. Shall we open this up to public comment?
No, I think the
Do
board
what you
still.
want.
Yeah, okay.
You're the chairman.
Bob, do you have anything to say on this?
Just reading what council suggested, which we gotta abide by. If there was anything that wasn't finished, the streetlight, maybe a couple other things, I think that's all we're obligated to,
Yeah.
all the builders obligated to. At this point, why you waited all this time? Who knows, but the letter we got from council is pretty clear.
Yeah, everything that I've heard on this my take is that apparently it's passed into the ownership of the people who live on the street in town.
But the original permit wasn't finished.
Yeah, and I think what our understanding, when we were discussing this before, was that the residents were all in agreement.
I
That,
never knew anything about it.
Well,
and so, yeah.
so we'll give you a chance to
I'm just
talk
saying,
about
so
it.
that the basis for what I was saying was built upon a notion apparently incorrect, that all the residents were in agreement that they didn't want this accepted as a public way.
Definitely.
And so, if that's not the case, then it's a different conversation now.
Yeah.
Okay. Do the other board members have any or comments to make on this?
I have other comments, but I'll wait until later on.
Okay.
Mine really is just that, I mean, the light's nice and the boundaries should be there, but the most important thing of all is anything in Abington has to do with drainage. And if people could hire to make repairs and maintenance, but they'd have to hire a professional to come out to figure out what the grades have to be. They couldn't just leave it up to a landscaper to take care of asphalt bound on the street, on Lincoln Street, or the grade down into the, cleaning the retention pond. They should get a note from the town that they gotta do that, so that they know it's gotta be maintained now, because it's not working right now. Well, it's freezing up now, but in the springtime, right, because it's all old, all overgrown.
No, it looks like it functions, but it's very overgrown, especially the upper portion where it comes in. As it goes down through, from the sort of the forebay to the detention basin, the owner of that property, he keeps it, looks like he keeps it fairly clean through there, and it discharges out the back. So I would say that it's functioning, okay?
Just needs to be, they just need to know that.
It just may look like
Yeah.
hell, but it's
Yeah,
functioning.
but it's really mature in terms of the growth on the upper side of it, for sure.
Well, Larry, what would be the course of action if it just became too overgrown for the thing to function?
Well, I mean, if you had pipes that weren't discharging into it, then obviously there's cleaning of that has to take place. And if the vegetation got to the point where it just can't find its way through, it's pretty significant grading to the basin. So it's not going to be easily fail as long as the water can get to it. Because it still controls the water on its way out to the back of the property there. But it should be maintained on a regular basis in order to make sure that it doesn't become so overgrown that it doesn't function. But right now, it still seems to be functioning. So.
Do these things have a lifespan? Finite lifespan?
Well, I mean, with or without maintenance, with maintenance, it should be indefinite.
But if it's without maintenance, it shortens the life.
Without maintenance, you could have failures. I'll tell you, one of the things you usually see is if you have grades that are not very well defined, then you get what you have is you start to see water spilling out of what was supposed to be going through a preferred path and it goes elsewhere. I don't see that that's going to happen in this case. And what you also find is that in some ways it slows down the water more because you get more growth in there and it becomes more of a wet kind of basin as opposed to a dry basin. But this is still a dry basin, and that's after 20 years.
So it's been there 20 years,
Yeah,
yeah? And it's still working.
looks like it's still working, yeah.
So who would, if it required some maintenance to keep it working, that would fall upon the
Homeowner.
owners?
Yeah, typically it would be, well, and if there was a homeowner association set up, then it would be the ones that are in the homeowners association. I don't know if one was ever envisioned or done.
All right. I know, Jeff, Rick, so you said you were gonna hold some comments back? Bob? All right, can I invite I would like to invite somebody up. Sir, you wanted to speak?
I'd love to.
Could you come up and give us your name and address, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
My name is Joseph Flora. I'm the owner of 4 Gordon Circle over there, and I'm listening to everything that you've said. 18 years ago, we received a letter that said there was going to be no plowing over there. So I come up to the town hall and I said, that would be a problem. There'd be a life safety issue. Wouldn't be able to get the fire engines down there. If any of my children got hurt, any of that stuff during a major snowstorm, that'd be completely unacceptable. So after that time, 18 years ago, snow plowing's continued. There's been no issues. I have noticed lack of maintenance there for sure. So the storm drain easement is in my neighbor's property. It's not affecting us who are up high, but it does affect us. I'm concerned about this whole thing that we're talking about here. Becomes a private way, then I become an owner of the property. All the maintenance, anybody slips, falls, gets hurt, anything happens in there. Car accidents, this is totally unacceptable.
You actually are an owner of the property right now.
I know I am, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I had no idea. I had 18 years of total lack of,
Well, I think the only
Knowledge.
I think the only thing that precipitated
so
this
you had said we agreed to accept. I never agreed to accept anything. I never got the chance.
So what's precipitated the conversation is the gentleman came in and wanted his bond back.
I understand.
And so now, okay, so what's the current state?
I understand that, but as a homeowner, being in the dugout, if you will, totally unaware of what was going on, and then all of a sudden this is going to get dropped on us like this?
Well, I think an alternative way to look at it is that, I mean, the request would be to accept, for the town to accept it as a public way.
Correct.
Absent that kind of request, then it's just status quo. Everything kind of stays the way it is and has been for the past 18 years.
That's wonderful, but I pay taxes and a lot of them.
Understand.
So I want my services. I want the road to be accepted. I want the road to be maintained. I want the road fixed. The storm drain on my side of the property is sinking into the street.
Yep.
My neighbors even noticed that. I've noticed the road is beginning to fail. So I'm a contractor myself. I'm in the building trades. I'm a plumber. I understand the impact of things. So if that entire road had to be repaved and all these curbs had to be refixed, I don't know. What are we talking? $1 million to do something like that?
Don't know.
Yeah. So I certainly don't have that kind of money. I don't believe my neighbors do. So, and again, with me paying the amount of taxes that I pay, do I get a discount?
I don't think it would be the town's expectation that the people would pick up the bill for that.
Well,
So
if-
that's what the bond was for.
If, I understand that now, but unfortunately during that time, all I did was buy a house. I didn't buy the street. I wasn't responsible for the street. I know anything about the street. All I know is that at any time when you buy a parcel of land, you can only hope that the roads leading to your house, or unless it's told, during the time that I'm buying the house, this is a private way.
Those are usually left out of the sentence.
Yeah, what do they call that when you buy a house? You have to, disclosures, thank you. Disclosures on easements and so on, anything. If there was an easement on my property, I just spent $18,000 for my driveway, put a whole brand-new driveway in. If there was a gas main under there and there was an easement there, then I just did that at my own risk, because they can come back and dig the driveway up. And I know that. I understand what an easement is, but as far as I know, there's no easements on my property. But the road, I thought the town owned it. Again, 18 years ago, when they said there would be no plowing, I came up and I was very concerned, and it got taken care of.
Well,
And
now
all
you
this
know
time
why-
went by.
Now you know why they said no plowing.
Well,
Because it was never accepted as a public way.
yeah,
That's why they.
I understand that.
That's why they
but to-
originally.
But
took
to
that
leave us,
position.
I mean, this past snowstorm, if nobody plowed, I have an F-250, it wouldn't do it.
I don't think you're in danger of that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any
Or retract.
thinking that the town is going to stop plowing the road.
Well, that's good. I'm very happy about that.
The fire department they kind of dictate that.
Yeah, I would think so, because if the house caught on fire, or again, there was a medical emergency in this current last snowstorm, if nobody did anything, you wouldn't get to us.
Right.
So that would be a life safety issue.
That's why it's getting plowed.
And now it is getting plowed. That's wonderful. Still a private way or something to that, right? What if somebody walks down that street, wipes out, and smashes their skull off of my stone wall?
I don't know the answer to that.
You know,
Right, what happens then?
Even though the Carriage Hill, which is on the edge of Rockland, is a private way, and we've had the same discussions, like who wants a private road, but nobody will agree to join together and maintain the road or do anything with it. Nobody works together. Somebody's gonna move next week. I don't wanna put any money on that now.
Right.
It's-
And I don't want
I
any
don't
of
know why
that.
anybody wants
And I've been
to borrow
taking
away.
care of my neighbors and I will say plural, have been taking care of the circle, the island in the middle, since day one. Had to mow it and clean it and do everything. And, I don't have time for that, but I'm doing it because I don't want to look at it like that. And then the stop sign down the end where Lincoln is, Lincoln and Gordon, that gets all overgrown, so you can't even see out. It's a safety issue to pull out into the road because you can't see. You have to nose the car out there. So, and my wife's called several times, and you guys have come and taken care of it. But again, I pay property tax. These things should be getting taken care of, period, in my opinion. And I shouldn't have to even be here doing this. Had I known when I bought the house and it was disclosed to me, I either maybe would or wouldn't have accepted those terms. But to get drawn into something blind isn't what I want to do.
That is another part of it too. We've constantly had these conversations where trying to figure out how do we get the real estate agent to tell the truth. So in some plans, we try to write down that, once you know next door, they have a dog kennel. So people don't suddenly buy it and didn't know about the dog kennel, they weren't told about it. So we try to figure out how do we get these to tell the truth, but
Well,
you really aren't going to say anything negative.
The guy has to be licensed next door, obviously, or it's illegal to have a dog kennel, right?
But
You can't just have
everybody moves in thinking
15
it's
dogs.
not going to change. And
That meeting's over there.
What's
I had
that?
that meeting, so.
That meeting's, that Board of
Yeah.
Health meeting is
Well, I
talking
mean,
about that.
again, I hear what you're saying. I just, I'm
Unfortunately,
not on board with it.
unfortunately.
Well, I'm not, to be clear, I'm not sure what you're not on board with. So what do you think that we're saying to you that you're not on board with?
Okay, I will clearly state that for you. I do not want the road to become a private road. I want the,
It is.
how did
you
this,
want it to become a public. You want to,
I want it to become a public road. Again, I was blind, I didn't know. When I
Understand.
bought, if I had bought my house on Lincoln Street, right?
Yep.
Or I'll go even further, 139, that's a state road.
Yep.
Right? So I would assume if I buy a parcel of land, the state's responsible for that road. Now I do buy a house on a privately owned town road, I assume that the town is gonna take care of that road. Again, assuming things are as bad, but again, I had no knowledge of this.
Understand.
It says
So-
circle, it doesn't say dead end or private way.
Yeah.
There's no
Understand.
signage.
Understand. Yep.
And
Mr.
what
Chairman
would you
or
do in
Liz?
a situation, you want the town to accept the road
So
as well?
hypothetically, could they put an article on the town meeting warrant asking to take their road? Make
No.
it public?
Well, they would need to walk through all the steps that the developer would have to walk through
Okay.
in order for that to go. I think a lot of this can be kind of cleared up right now if you let the developer get
Yes,
up
I'm just waiting for you.
and
first, sir.
explain.
Yeah, I'm all set.
And explain
You guys have heard
why
me, so-
this has ended up the way it has.
I'd like to ask the developer, please, could you stand up, give us your name and address, please?
James O'Leary, 32 Holbrook Road, Quincy, Mass.
Right over there, please.
Good evening. As I stated before, we had PMP Associates that was the peer review engineer at the time we built this road that made every inspection along the way, right down to the final. The as-built was something that took some time to get done, and I just kind of put it on the back burner and didn't turn it in. But when we built this road, everything on the plan was completed and accepted by PMP, and those records, I'm assuming, would have been forwarded to the town here with each inspection. And then on October, I think it was, early in October, October 20th, I went door to door in the neighborhood with a letter to try to get this road, get all the tenants, the owners to agree to have the road accepted. Of that, the only person that signed on was Nancy Stimson out on Lincoln Street. Everybody else was kind of stonewalling me. I made 3 or 4 personal trips down the street, knocking on doors, several phone calls, to a point where I talked to my attorney and he said, we're just gonna ask for the bond back. I mean, there was no malice of intent. I even put the dollar that was required in the envelopes that I left with people and everything else. I don't know what to say here. I got the impression that nobody was gonna sign on, so. And then, according to, well, the way I understand it, that the MGL C41 on this thing, after 45 days, we were supposed to receive a certified notice, and as was the town clerk. I'm not sure if that ever transpired, but,
From what?
what, I'm sorry?
For what?
Well, when we requested the bond, I think it's, I'd have to read this thing entirely, but there's 45 days. Beyond that, if the board determines said construction or installation has not been completed and shall be shall specify in a notice sent by registered mail to the applicant and the clerk of the city or town upon, with the details of what was wrong. And then, back to the report, there are a lot of things on that report that weren't required at the time we built the road.
That came right off the original
Yeah,
format,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah, that came off
Can you
the
be-
original,
can you be specific, that's all?
yeah, this came off of the list he had, came out of the PMP list. The original list of stuff that needed to be done.
So you have the last correspondence from PMP?
I don't have it with me, but we do have
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, that may have been during the course of
I mean, in order for you to
construction,
get,
but it wasn't,
in order for you to get your bond, he had to come up with a number, right? In order for the board to reduce it to the $39,000. That $39,000 had to be justified, so there had to be expenses attached to that, right? So like the catch basin adjustments are $750.
those were all done. That's 20 years
But
wear and
that
tear.
never came off, it never came off that bond, right, to get us to the 39,000.
It's
That's why,
because we didn't go for the final sign-off,
right.
Yeah.
but everything was completed.
But we don't know that because you never submitted the as-built, so I
Yeah,
could send them back out there. I mean, I guess that's the catch-22. Paperwork-wise is, this was the number that you had, you had your surety reduced to this, and then you had the as-built done, but never got it
Okay,
to the
but-
town.
But everything on that list was completed.
But I don't know that because PMP could never go out there,
They weren't given.
because you just gave me an as-built last fall.
I
Right?
brought it to you back when it was created in 18, 19, 20 years ago, too.
I-
But it wasn't signed off yet, so.
Yeah. So I guess that's where we are, and I think the other thing that's important, so for the neighbors who are here, I don't mean to interrupt you, everybody's agreed to sign off now?
Yes, yes, they have the Boyles.
Everybody has?
Yes, the Flores, the Boyles, and the Duggins.
Duggan, Mr. Duggan couldn't make it here, he's away on business. I don't know what my other neighbor's doing, I thought they were gonna be here, but it's only one other neighbor. So I'm here on behalf of both of them. They told me they were both on board with signing. There was some confusion, and I've had discussions with Mr. O'Leary a few times, and tried to get educated with this whole thing. One of my neighbors was a little concerned, and it concerned me, and then Jimmy put my mind at ease.
Interrupt
when we talked
You've
about-
got to take the microphone because people will watch us.
Sorry. Sorry.
Kevin Tocci will get yelled at, and I don't want to hear from Kevin Tocci,
We
just
can hear you,
saying.
but they gotta hear.
At any event, where was I going with this? I was talking about our neighbors and whether or not we wanted to have this thing signed off, and we do. My neighbor that's next to me, Mr. Boyle, got concerned when it said eminent domain. He thought that it meant the town could come in and do whatever you wanted to do and this and that, and the wording was confusing, so I've straightened that out with him. He's on board with it. He probably either got busy or didn't remember that he had to come here, so I'm here on both of their behalfs.
So
Again, one's on business and
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think that is the crux of the situation, because Mr. O'Leary and I have had multiple conversations, and I have had conversations with his attorney, who sent those letters out. The eminent domain was a faux pas. It shouldn't have said that, because the Board of Selectmen are the only ones who can do anything by eminent domain, not the planning board. A. B, we have been laboring under the impression this whole time that Mr. Boyle, I guess, Lot 5 Gordon Circle, was not going to sign off.
He is now, he wants to, and so does Mr. Duggan. He's definitely on board. He's, as far as I know, has had a lot of involvement here at the town hall. He's been at meetings and different things. Not even clear as to what that was all about. Again, he's away. I just was trying to text him saying I wish he was here, because he was very involved. So I'll speak for myself as one of the owners there. I do not want this to happen. I want to sign off on it, and I'd like to get Mr. O'Leary's affairs settled as well. I don't and didn't know that this was even happening until a few short months ago. So, again, 18 years ago, when it got brought to my attention, no plow and this and that, I don't want to repeat that whole story, but I thought it was all set. And
And it's
then,
good for the town, don't you get
and
some
then 18
benefits
years
too?
later,
Now you have more property.
Not really.
Not
no.
really.
Oh, it's not good for them.
So,
Yeah,
if I can
no.
go back to what I was asking originally, which is, so can you spell out what needs to happen before the town can accept a public road?
Actually, I gave Mrs. Flora,
Can you
The-
explain for everybody who's
I,
here? and
not
listening?
off the top of my head.
Procedure, but
It's
I
like a
don't know how long.
5-page,
All right, so
in
is this-
general,
Is this a town bylaw or is this a state law?
it's a town bylaw
Town bylaw, okay.
that Copeland and Page drafted, and in general, and I'm saying in general, I don't want anybody to quote me later and say that I didn't say something or did say something. You need to do a warrant article and submit it to the selectman's office with an as-built plan and the easements. So for you guys, because the road, the fee in the middle of the road, you guys all own that right now, right? As you know, you own from the sidewalk to the middle of the
To
road.
the, yeah,
You guys all own that. You have to somehow gift it to the town.
correct.
And there are several ways to do that, which
What would be the simplest, easy?
I don't know off the top of my head. I would have to ask somebody what the simplest way, probably eminent domain. But again, that would need to be I would need to get permission from the Board of Selectmen to do that.
Okay, could we do that?
Yes, I think if you guys all wanted to work together with your attorney who has already drafted the documents.
And it's a win for us and a win for the town.
I'll speak to my attorney in the morning and find out the best way to go. But just want to make it clear too that I made him available to everybody that had any questions. In fact, he charged me for speaking with people. So in terms of clarification or questions that needed to be answered, I did everything I could to get them answered, so.
So the other part of the question is, do they have to bring the road up in condition before the town will accept it?
Right.
That I don't know.
Again, wouldn't that be a
Can the
selectman
town
position?
can town meeting choose to accept a road that is not up to condition?
I'd ask Mr. O'Leary, sir, from your experience, is that the case? Would the town have to bring it up? You'd have to bring it up to
I'm
spec?
not aware of that, I don't know.
I mean, Larry thinks you can.
If I can address what you're saying. Well, first of all, when the warrant, when they put it on as an article for consideration, they're gonna be looking for what the planning board's recommendation is to the article. So it's at that point, the planning board makes a recommendation to accept it, or says, well, it is substandard and therefore they don't want it to be, they're not recommending that it be accepted, or either way. But the planning board has to vote. That goes to the selectmen for consideration when they look at that article, then they have to vote on that article. And they're gonna send a recommendation to town meeting, to do it or not. If it becomes a petition directly from the folks that are, that own it, or that they can still make that petition. But if they get to the town meeting floor and there's a recommendation from the planning board that says that we don't recommend it, accept it because it's not up to standard, or the selectmen say the same thing, it gets harder to get the town meeting floor to vote to accept it. But it can still happen that way. Okay, the easiest way, obviously, is to have a positive vote here, positive vote from the selectmen, gets before the town meeting, and then it's more likely to get approved at that point. We, in Bridgewater, recently had a subdivision that our company had done, and the planning board was adamant that it was gonna stay a private way, because it had been done to some substandard kind of design. They asked for some waivers when they were doing it. The people in the neighborhood petitioned the town and got the council, because we have a council style there, they asked to be accepted. And the council accepted the road as the town road.
So it sounds like you guys have to get together with the attorneys and get this ironed out and, work on getting a town meeting warrant article together?
So-
Well, if it's gonna come from them,
Yeah.
yes. If it's not an initiative here,
Yeah.
then it's an
It's gotta
initiative,
come
a
from
private
these-
initiative.
from the-
So
yeah.
FYI, the warrant opened last Monday, and it's closing, I think, February 20th.
So, is this something you think you could get together?
One other thing I just want to point out, and Mr. Silver, in your documents here, second page, on December 22nd, you completed the inspection of the subdivision in its current condition of the roadway associated improvements, and the road appears to have been constructed in accordance with the approved plans, does not show aging in need of maintenance below. There's a short list of a few items you observed, but I just want to make sure that everybody's aware that this thing was built according to the plans that we had. And the other end of it was just, I'll call my
And-
attorney in the morning.
And speaking to what you said, ma'am, the town gets, anyway, I've experienced working in Old Colony Place, but the more miles of accepted streets in the town, the more money it gets for highway aid from the state. So it's in the best interest of this town to get this street accepted so we could get more money for roadway improvements in the town.
Not really.
Well,
Not really.
It's some.
Not really. If you're John Stone, it's a not really.
Honestly, it's gonna be a
My husband and I,
difficult
you know, I'm also thinking the resale value, what if I want to sell my house? I don't want, I want.
Yeah, that's something I'm concerned about is the impact of resale.
Sure.
That's one. And the other, of course, is my taxes have doubled since I've lived here. I was paying 7, now I'm paying almost 14. So I just want to know
Yeah.
what the hell that money's doing.
We're not immune from that either.
No, I understand that. But I mean, as a property owner,
Board of Selectmen, Monday nights.
well,
The condition of the.
I'm gonna have to get a job here.
There you go, right?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, unfortunately, the condition of the road as it sits, it's gonna be a difficult task. My personal opinion.
Well, it gets us into a conversation about we have
I
a
guess
bond.
we're,
This moment,
Can some of the repairs be made with the
I
bond
guess
against the
we're gonna
bond we
have to
have?
talk.
I mean, this should have been taken care of 20 years ago,
You need to cut it off.
but it's
You need
not.
to cut it off. You have all these people waiting for the other one.
Okay.
I guess I'm thinking that this is cash, and if it was available, I mean, pretending your pockets are loaded with money, pretending your pockets are full of money. I was thinking that if you know, 'cause we've had this before, where we've had contractors that come back, it's been 6 months or so after the construction's done, and come back and kind of fix the.
Amanda, can you mute yourself, please?
Fix some curbs and fix some landscaping, just to close this thing out. And granted, it costs money, but I mean, I'm thinking that if there's with the 40 grand, whatever's left
Amanda,
out of
please
that,
mute yourself.
we could release, or would you be willing
I mean,
to make the?
I'll take a look at things, but again, some of the stuff is normal wear and tear items. And, you know,
Could you please mute yourself, Amanda?
All right,
Or I'll have to kick you out of the room. We can hear you here. Thank you.
all right, gentlemen, folks who are here for this discussion, we've got to move this along. We have
Yep.
just one more comment, please.
You can get up to the,
You get the
I
microphone?
just want a few minutes, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, all right. We have to, cut this.
With the snow.
Well, the game's all here.
And name and address, please, ma'am.
My name is Nancy Stimson, and I live in 253 Lincoln Street. Obviously, I'm very sympathetic with these people going through, but no one has understood what I'm going through. When we bought our property years ago, it was beautiful, all woods, beautiful house next door, Dom owned it. I remember when they were going to put this development in, and someone came to us, probably came to the planning board, do you object? My husband said, we can't afford to buy all that land, no. The only thing I ask you, when you put that road in, would you make sure that our side, our property line, is well kept? It's not well kept. I put up small fence at one point. I probably planted, my husband and I probably planted over 25 shrubs. There's so much vine and everything on that. First of all, I sympathize with these people driving down that street. These beautiful homes, and it's all weeds and vines. And I always said, wow, the stop sign, he's absolutely right. But the vines you're getting on the stop sign, I am getting now over my fence, and it's up to me to trim it. I've had people come down about the line, talk about value of your home. I had a real estate when I was thinking about selling after my husband passed. First of all, that's an eyesore. Do something with it. In the summer, when it's all green, it looks pretty. In the winter, it's all straggly vines. And on that side, which is their property, whose ever property, is coming on mine. It's destroyed the whole line of property. It is destroyed. I thought the town owned it. This is all new to me, and I kept saying, why isn't the town doing something?
So one of your neighbors owns that land. One of your neighbors owns that land.
Well, I don't know who owned it. All I know is it's affected my property.
It's probably on the plan. If you want to come up to the planning office, we can look at the plan. But right now, all those neighbors own all that land. And that's not, whoever owns that. That's not coming to the
Well, I
town.
just assumed.
You guys all do the neighbors.
I understand, yeah. I obviously.
live
Everybody who
Town
lives
owns
there
it.
owns it.
The people who live there,
Legally, it's.
to the middle of the
it's
street.
town.
Everybody owns till the middle of the road.
Why is there a town, a town name on the road? Why doesn't it say private way?
It should.
Oh,
There is.
Sir, if you'd like to get up and talk, sir, you need, if you want to
Sir,
get up,
could
you
you
need
please
to
come
talk
up
there,
and
please.
comment at the mic,
They
please?
can't, other people want to hear it too, they can't.
Okay.
This is kind of basic. The town owns the road.
Sir, if you want to get up and talk, please go over to the microphone.
And you gotta remember, we were here long before
And
this
could you
road.
give us your name and address,
We've been in
please?
town for 35 years. Where, there was a town sign on the road. There was a town plaque dedicated to, Gordon, first class Gordon.
So those aren't
There are
town.
flags
The town
that are
didn't
put
pay for
only
them.
by the town.
He paid for the town, he paid for the road, the sign. And
Okay.
there's a separate fund that paid for all those plaques that went up. The Veterans Office has those. So the town didn't pay for any of those signs.
Who pays to plow the road right now?
Your road is being plowed for safety purposes.
My road is plowed by the town.
Yes.
This
For safety
abuts our
purposes.
land.
Where, on Lincoln Street?
Yes.
Yes, the town plows your road.
Our land-
It's accepted.
Our land runs right down.
Gordon
the
Circle
whole
gets
Gordon
plowed.
Circle And around and everything.
Gordon Circle gets plowed for safety purposes, as does every other private way, mostly in this community.
So my property can be ruined by vines and everything else. I had someone come down one time and they told me it would cost me thousands.
If you want to come up and look at the plan, I'm happy to look at that plan with you and tell you who owns the land, but that will not be town land. One of your neighbors still owns that.
So if the road is ever approved by the town,
One of your neighbors will still own that land.
Yeah, that would be us.
How is that even possible?
Sir, could you give us a?
It's how the lots were divided.
My name is Sean Fitzpatrick.
And what's your address, please?
I live at 253 Lincoln Street.
Okay.
Have
Thank you.
for the last
Thank you.
35 years.
Thank you, sir.
So then I guess the Floras own it, because that's how the subdivision got divided.
Then how do we figure out how to clean this out
so that,
without the town
even
having
if,
anything to do with it?
so even if
Right.
the town takes it
So
over.
if we
Right.
just like literally take chainsaws and cut this down to the ground, you people have no problem?
It's not our land.
That's it.
So we can literally just cut this all down.
Again, I invite you to come to the planning office.
Do that?
Okay.
I invite you to come to the planning office and look at the plan to see whose land it is.
You can see it.
I would,
We have vines 4 inches
I would just
long.
confirm who owns the land before you take a chainsaw to them.
No, but that's
I
just,
know my neighbor's afraid of cutting my branches out leading into the yard. I'm like, oh, that's okay. But you want kind of, want permission from somebody to do it.
Right, so I would just confirm who owns the property before you cut
thank
it
you,
down.
thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
I'm glad you came.
Oh, whoops.
Make it public and
Okay, okay, folks, we need to move this along.
No, well,
Just move on.
What's the next step,
I think
Mr.
the
Chairman?
biggest thing right now
Next
is
steps.
we really need this road accepted.
Next steps what?
fines and
Oh, for them? So Mr. O'Leary is gonna reach out to his attorney tomorrow,
Okay.
who I assume will at some point circle back to me to check dates for the warrant. I would really encourage everybody, the 4 neighbors that abut this, to email me. My email address is on the website. You have it, you can share it with them, that you're all willing to sign off on this.
Okay.
Because this position tonight is,
Actually, you could have something typed up and.
that's fine. I mean, you don't have to have it notarized, just something in writing, because we're here tonight because one of your neighbors didn't want to do it. So Mr. O'Leary, after several attempts at trying to get you guys to sign off, said, I just want my bond back and we'll let it go. But if you want to move forward, if you guys are all for getting the roadway accepted, then I think he's willing to work with you guys on that. But if you get me something in writing that just says we're all willing to do that, so he's not incurring costs, I'm not spending
I
time.
understand. So we're
You know what I mean? We're not
wasting
going around in a circle again. That would be great. So I think that's part of the next steps. If you guys can confirm to me that the 4 property owners that would have to sign off on
That
this.
would be the Stimpsons as well.
Yep,
We've
it's the-
already signed off.
It's the 2 people on Lincoln Street that the road went through, so those 2 corner houses.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know who the other one is, and then it's you guys, and then 5, Gordon Circle? Yep, Mr. Boyle.
And the Dugans.
Yep,
Their address is actually Lincoln.
yes.
So-
Well, Mr. Boyle's is 5 Gordon, right?
Right, correct.
And then it's,
We went 4.
Get through, could I just, one more thing, what do you go up there?
Yes.
yep,
Yeah.
6:05, more or less.
Just
I know, right?
while we have the peer review engineer here, there was a mention of the driveway at 241 Lincoln Street taking water. That's the second owner of that house since I sold it, and that driveway has been reconfigured and done by somebody else, so we had nothing to do with that when we built the road, just to clarify that point. Okay?
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, folks. So,
All right, so those are the steps.
yeah, this is
He's
outline
gonna,
next steps.
he's gonna talk to the attorney, because we're on a very tight deadline now. We literally, I think, have 18 days
All right,
to get this in.
all right.
So if we can all work cooperatively and get the paperwork done, then we can probably get that done for this year. Because that's what everybody wants, right? He would
Yeah.
like his money back.
Right.
You guys would like the road accepted. So the warrant, which is the vehicle to get all of this done, opened last week and closes, I believe, the 20th. But I can verify that tomorrow and let you know for sure that that's the date.
Okay.
All right,
Because if it's not in by the 20th, it won't be at town meeting. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Well,
Most of it's drafted, so
yeah.
I think we're all set with the paperwork
All
part.
right, all right, thanks, everyone, for coming out on this issue. We're gonna move along to,
44 to 54.
I would say 6:05 PM, more or less. We're gonna do the public hearing, definitive subdivision 4454 Linwood Street, continued. And Larry, you had some comments. That's right.
Yes, I did. We responded.
Hold on. Yeah, let me go grab them. Yep, thank you. Thank you. You're up. Yep.
We'll wait for Mr. Soper to return.
This one,
Yes.
These guys have a podium if they need to display it.
We do not. Give me 1 second.
Let's see if we can get you something to put your stuff up on.
Yeah, you don't have a way to put it on the board?
No, it must be sitting in
Is it over at the?
We have something right here, sir.
You know what, let me go check the, you know what this is, the other side.
We're not in the big room tonight, so.
Notice, kinda. Already went in that room, that was.
When I first moved into town, I drove in here, this is all brand new, and I went up to the library, and it's gonna be a great town hall.
I'm gonna get some hazard pay.
I thought this was the library.
I have a hard hat. We could find you a hard hat.
Must be
Right.
Too small.
All right, we'll give these folks a minute or two to sit
Busy
up.
place tonight.
Trouble tomorrow, 'cause it's empty.
Now, we need to set this up so the folks can see it sitting here and the
So, can they, thank you.
people in TV land can see this too.
To everybody who has zoomed in, I'd appreciate it if you could all keep yourself muted, and when time comes for questions, if you could either put your camera on and raise your hand, or put your Zoom hand up. We're going to take you in order. As soon as I see you, I'm going to write your name down, and then the chairman will allow everybody, well, I can't say he's going to allow everybody a chance to speak, but
We'll do our best.
we're going to do our best to let everybody
All right. Oh, you guys tell me when you're set to go, please.
Well, do you want to start with Larry? You want
Let's
to
start with Larry, I just want to make sure.
Yep.
All right, we're going to start with our consultant, Larry.
Oh, you are?
Well, either way, or they can just go through and
Can I just
address
ask-
what
Well, actually,
they.
no, because they,
Can I ask
let me
one
do that,
quick
because
question?
they got his report, sorry.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let you guys go.
Can I ask one quick question before we start, just to understand what's on the ground?
Sure.
Oh, could you
So-
identify yourself and name and all that stuff, please?
Just tell me who
Yeah.
wants to go first.
Our fan club, you're gonna go first, and you're gonna introduce yourself,
Identify
and then
yourself
Rick's
and have a
gonna
quick
answer some questions.
Okay, Scott Rubin, on behalf of Winter Fox LLC.
Okay. Just so I understand the layout, because I haven't been on the site.
Yeah.
From the roadway, it drops down 40 feet into a
If
little
you're-
valley.
if you're
and then it comes
asking-
back up a little bit.
I would ask my engineers to talk about anything about depth of
Okay.
anything. I don't want to misspeak, 'cause I don't
But
know the
it-
answer to that question.
But there's basically a little valley that runs from the pond, kind of, it cuts through it. It's a little low spot, and then on either side, one side is a little
On the
bit,
bottom of
Yeah.
of the wetland for a crossing of water, and then there forms another upland, and then where the houses are gonna be.
You guys gotta take the microphone.
okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, oh, this is
Sorry,
gonna
there's
be,
one here that you can, the hootie owl will help you, and then there's someone there.
This is over there next to the.
and again, sir, could you identify yourself, please?
Yeah, my name is Carlos Ferreira from MP Design Consultants. I'm the engineer for the project, and I have like my partner, Mark Alencar, also from MP Design Consultants, and representing us, Scott Rubin.
We got it, we got it. Okay, thank you.
You want to answer that question under the microphone so people can hear?
We have like a sort of a presentation.
Okay.
You want to like it formal, otherwise we're gonna go back and forth on it.
Yeah.
I just went,
He just
as
wants
I'm
to
listening
lay
to it, I just want to make
Yes,
sure I understand what
but
the
yeah,
site looks
that's
like.
it. I
This
mean,
is a
we
really
start-
unusual
Yes,
flow.
yes,
So I
we
just wanna
do.
make sure. Okay,
So we start on a higher point, then this thing deeps in. There's a low point in here where the wetland forms,
Yeah.
and then it goes up a little bit, and then there's this like upland in here, and then we're gonna place 3 homes there
Okay.
on the upland.
You can
Okay.
do it back. Thank you very much.
Rick, you're set?
Yes, I just want to
Okay,
make sure. I
guys, you
understood.
could get into your presentation, please, now?
yeah, we're just gonna, just as an overview, I thought it'd be easier just to sort of give an overview of the project itself. And then I was gonna have somebody from MP Design sort of go through a couple of sheets as well for you as an overview. And then I thought maybe at that point, it would be good to go through Mr. Silver, hear from Mr. Silver and his peer review comments, and then we can comment about those and then entertain any questions that the board may have.
It works for the chair, so. go-
Does that work? Okay, again, this is a project that started back in 2024. It's almost a little over a nine acre parcel off of Linwood Street here. It's a composite of 2 assessors map parcels. I think one is 5 acres, the other's 3 and change, which makes up the 9.2 acre parcel. So it's a fairly large piece of property, which allowed the Winter Fox to proceed under the section 214I. So this is being proposed under the reduced density bylaw that you do have. You know, the purpose of that bylaw really was to sort of manage growth in the town. And so initially, this project was started as a 4-lot subdivision, and that switched to 3 lots at this point. Under the current zoning, which is R30 zoning, we would be required to have 30,000 square feet of upland. All the parcels do comply with that, some substantially. We have 1 lot over 60,000 square feet of upland, 1 lot almost 40,000, and 1 lot just over 30,000 as well. So we are, overall, the lots comply with the half-density portion of the bylaw. That's what we're proposing. So our overall lots would be minimally required to have 60,000 square feet, which we do have. If you look at the zoning table that we have on one of the plans, our lot coverage, which would be a maximum of 25%, all fall under 5%, basically because we've taken 60,000 square feet for each lot. One of the things that we looked at over the last year, we had the fire department review the plans. They provided us with the length of their apparatus to make sure we had a sufficient turning radius for the roadway, which complies with the requirements. And we did receive a response back that the roadway was satisfactory to, I think it was Mr. Conti or Mr. Cotty, I can't remember his last name there. Cotty. And he also reviewed the locations of the fire hydrant on site and had no issues with the fire hydrant locations. One of the things that we do need to talk about, I guess, is the tree bylaw. The tree bylaw, there's 2 tree bylaws in town, as you probably know. So one has the planning board, which I believe is 175-77, subsection B, subsection 5, subsection K, which requires us to replace for every 3 trees we take, requires 1 tree to be replaced. Our proposal for the planning board is to comply with that bylaw in total for the areas outside the wetlands jurisdiction. So we do have a conservation commission filing as well, and we have a conservation bylaw that's more restrictive than that. And we're going to have to go to conservation to work out the total landscaping plan. But for our perspective, it makes the most sense to be able to comply with your jurisdiction, which I suggest respectfully is anything that's not within the buffer zones. And if we're not in the buffer zones, I believe we've proposed to take 36 trees that qualify, and we have to have a certain size tree that qualifies under the bylaw to have a replacement. But we have 36 trees that are proposed to be removed and replanting 53, in which case we would only be required to replace 12. So we have a healthy canopy that we're proposing for anything outside the bylaw. Inside the buffer, we have different challenges which we're going to have to work with the Conservation Commission. At this point, that's pretty much my overview of the project. I'm going to ask either Carlos or Mark to sort of go through a couple of sheets in the plans to sort of give you a sort of overall texture of the plans, and then have Mr. Silva talk about his peer review comments.
Excuse me.
So I'm Mark Alinkar with MP Design Consultants. We have had some extensive conversations with Mr. Silva. We received the final peer review comments back, which we have addressed all the planning board design requirements for roadway design. There are some red line comments in regards to some spelling and things of that nature. And one of the things that was on the peer review comments was in regards to the tree bylaw for us to discuss tonight. There was another item in regards to pond edge to be shown on the plan, which it has been resolved between the peer reviewer from the Conservation Commission and Matt Morrow during the site walk. That has been reviewed by them on site, and we believe that that item is a closed item as far as jurisdiction of the planning board goes. So the project intent is to create 3 parcels as Mr. Scott
We're gonna have to
Rubin
step through those.
has
That's what
shown.
this
Has shown, and currently is 2 lots, so we're subdividing under the half density to create 3 lots. The roadway layout is, if you start at a higher point, you go down, there will be a culvert crossing here, which will be hydrologic connected. Most of the water of all abutting properties around us flow towards the pond and flow towards our development area. So all of this abutting property stormwaters will eventually just go to the pond. What we are taking care of is the impervious areas created by the roadway, and we're proposing to include some subsurface systems, which is a condition that the planning board can include to include test pit data for these specific homes when they are built. And our design is to have an infiltration basin located right here to take care of this impervious surface that will have water coming down up to this point. And then another subsurface system that will be located inside the rotary, which we have discussed with Mr. Silva as well, and change that from being a basin to a subsurface infiltration system, so nothing is seen on, at grade, everything is underground. We have also discussed, like it was mentioned by Scott Rubin, we ran this by the DPW Sewer Department and Water Department had no questions with the utility connections. We also ran this by Fire Department. They provided us a letter of support stating that they had no further questions. And again, I believe we have answered, if not all of the comments regarding design intent of the planning board requirements. I believe that's what we have for tonight.
Okay, thank you. Sir, did you have anything to add to this?
Yeah.
For the profile. You wanted to understand how that was, conceptual.
You know, one time, years ago, we talked about requiring presenters to have this all in digital format.
You did serve it in digital form.
Remember that? That would have been a
We have
wonderful
it.
thing.
You need a second screen, that's all.
We have it, right, exactly.
For Mr. Rick, question, is it, like the top of the road in here, when we enter the subdivision is approximately elevation 155, and then this road drops like where we have like the lower point in here, which is about elevation 126, so there's about like 30 feet drop from the street to this point in here where we have the crossing. We're gonna have like a culvert on this location. And then there's not, it goes up a little bit, not substantially. I mean, because the houses, I mean, they're gonna be laid out like at 132. In the bottom, at the bottom of the road is like 131. So it's not much higher than the lower section of the road on it. All the houses, like we kind of set them up like a little higher and graded around them, just to create like, distantiate that from groundwater.
Are you developing the houses too? Who is it? Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the only reason I ask that is that we always show these wonderful grades, and then when the houses get built, nobody follows the plans.
Yep.
And the grades don't get done, and
Yep.
the neighbors come in and complain.
I think the intent is that Winter Fox is going to develop
Okay.
the roadway and the homes, right? So,
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rubin. I think you're up, Larry, now?
Yeah, so we reviewed the last set of plans that were submitted. They were dated, I believe, on the 7th. 5th, there was some that were the 5th and some were the 7th. But we went through item by item where we left off on the previous comments. And in our letter report of January 20th, each item, I know there was a question about what does it mean? Somebody had asked, what does it mean when an item is closed? We felt that the item had been addressed and that there was not another further iteration that needed to happen. If it said item closed, then there was not something else that we were expecting of them, okay?
Speaking to this one, Larry?
I'm sorry?
The question
I was,
raised here?
yes, look, like I was looking at this while I was trying to
Okay.
look at my.
So the
report.
question there more specifically is, there were engineering comments that you
Right.
had submitted. There were engineering comments that came from the peer review of the Conservation Commission. And so when you were marking the Conservation Commission items as closed
From a planning board perspective only.
from a planning board, that was
Yeah.
the question that I was
Yeah.
asking.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not,
so
we're not,
you-
we're not answering for the Conservation Commission.
So while you're saying item closed,
That
the Conservation Commission could come back and say.
could still
"No, we don't-
have
we
some
don't
issue
agree
with it.
that."
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, okay.
That's
This
correct.
just pertains to us.
Right.
Yep.
We don't have resolution on some of the John Rockwell comments until we get back to Conservation Commission.
Okay.
So,
Okay, well,
So my letter of January 20th, I went through each item And where you're either gonna find on each one of these items that there is an actual comment, which means that something is still open at that point, or if it said item closed, then we felt that from a planning board perspective, that where we are at this point, they've addressed those issues. And so there was, on the first item was one in which I had had a conversation with Carl Gavi, and this had to do with, where the main sewer line that comes through the project now, and the bounding of that sewer main that comes through the easement. There is one of them that is relatively close to one of the roadway bounds. So it was agreed that on the plan, there would be just a reference to how far away that easement is from the bound that would be there. We found that on the plans, that there was an attempt to try to make that work, but it certainly wasn't that clear. And what we asked in this comment here was that maybe that be pulled out as an inset, on the plan set to make it clear that this is where the sewer easement is in relationship to those bounds, because it was very confusing on the plan itself.
What's the number of that one, Larry?
That's the first one that I have here on the subdivision layout, number 1.
Okay.
Okay, so as I go through the other ones, you can see that the next page, most of those items had been closed. On page 5.
Okay, so if I might,
I'm sorry.
I say if I might,
On your sheet?
that's what this was. So everything that was marked as closed and looked like it was definitively closed from your perspective,
Yes.
I jumped over it.
Okay.
And the ones that were remaining, that seemed to have some remaining question,
Are the ones that you have listed here.
were the 5 that are listed here.
Okay, so if we want to follow your format, and the one thing I do want to say, and it's kind of stated in there somewhere, we found the plan set to be difficult. There is the ability to layer the information, and on certain sheets, certain layers should be turned off so that it's clearer that what the intent of that sheet is, that you can see that information and you're not burdened with everything else. But we found that all layers was on. These layers are like overlapping. It's very hard to follow it. And I can see that is going to be problematic when a contractor is trying to do the job, to be sure that he understands what the intent is and what the information that is on that particular page. And so just as the general comment is that before we get to if we get to an approval and we get to a final plan set, that kind of stuff really needs to be kind of cleaned up, because it's just too much. And sometimes wetland flags are on top of trees, on top of elevations, and there's just so much stuff that you really can't really see. You really gotta be there, and
It's easy enough to correct.
it's easy enough to correct if you just do that housekeeping part of it, okay?
When you say layers,
Well, in other words, when in AutoCAD, the way the information is put in is they're put on separate layers. So for example, if I have wetland flags with wetland flag labels and everything else, that could be on a wetland flag layer. The tags themselves on them could be on a wetland text layer. So there's everything could be, so certain things can be turned on or off when you go to a different sheet.
within AutoCAD.
Within AutoCAD. And it's not a lot to do that. But in a lot of cases here, I found that a lot of these sheets, they just had everything turned on. So even though the focus was on one particular item, everything in the kitchen sink was still on, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that it was wrong to have those on, but it takes away from the purpose of what that sheet is and with the information that was trying to convey.
So we could have made it clearer. is what you're
Oh,
saying.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was the one that was on Gavi, but would you rather me just go through the list as you got it here on the open ones?
If the
Yeah,
board
that would
is
be
okay
probably
with that.
easier, right? So if we go to landscaping,
going through 60
number 1,
pages.
page 9. Yes. So on that one, page 9.
Tree bylaw.
So you spoke to this up top.
I
And
spoke to this up top.
And I thought what I heard you saying was that landscaping item number 1 on page 9, the intent was to conform to what the planning board had asked.
Outside the jurisdiction of the Conservation
Road build,
Commission.
right?
I'm sorry?
So you're talking about outside of the work to be done?
Outside the buffer zones, that whatever the Conservation Commission has jurisdiction on, we would propose to comply with the tree bylaw, that's what we think the planning board has jurisdiction over.
Okay, so
Because
we're just trying to work from the engineering comments.
his comments, I think, were just that we needed to have.
So there was a
open
specific
discussion.
item under landscaping here,
Right,
item 1.
correct.
Okay. And this issue remains open and should be discussed at the next planning
And
board
that's what he
meeting.
was discussing.
That's
Right.
right.
And so what you're saying is that piece is going to conform to what the planning board bylaw.
So what I would suggest is that if it's acceptable to the board, they should note on the plan that the compliance with this bylaw is, in other words, the scope of it, as he has just indicated, is for the area outside of the buffer zone, not the area that's under conservation jurisdiction.
Right.
That further, further review, because that.
That's where we get into the next one,
Yeah, okay,
that item 8 under Concom,
right.
where they're talking about the buffer zone. And that's the one you said you would defer to, or would go to the Conservation Commission for guidance on that.
Anything within their jurisdiction, we would need guidance, we need approval for.
And in general, any vote by this board should carry with it a condition that says that it's subject to approvals of other boards, commissions, and other jurisdictions.
Is that, you guys clear on this? Is this acceptable to you?
It's acceptable to me that that we have really no other choice. We absolutely need to go back to conservation and discuss the compliance with that, because our proposal doesn't comply with, our proposal for the tree removal and replanting, according to our arborist, would be harmful to the site itself, and so we have a proposal to reduce that density that would be
That's
better.
the comment that's made under item 8 under Conservation. That pertains to the buffer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. So we have to square that away with them, for
With
sure.
them, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I ask a question here or about this? Do you have in here where the extent of the tree clearing you're going to do is?
Yes.
No.
On the landscape plan?
Yeah, it's on the.
Which sheet?
It's on sheet C141 and also on sheet C111, which is clearer to see on C111 because many layers are turned off on that sheet. Sheet C111.
So I see it around the proposed house areas. And obviously,
So the site is all.
right. And so obviously where the road comes in, you have to clear that.
I think there's an actual detail on the, where it had.
This is existing and then the darker one.
You have like a swiggle.
Looking at the landscaping. And I'm seeing where you're proposing to plant. So all of these, so the trees are produced. So like when I see them out here, I'm thinking, well, you're not clearing out here.
No, but they're smaller caliber trees, which they can remove the woods and the plant.
That's what I was wondering, is it, okay, so a lot of these places you're planting trees in the existing grove that you're not removing.
Yes.
It'll just be in addition to what's there and
And
okay,
the arborist report further explains that.
okay. That's what I just
And
wanted to.
that's why on that landscaping sheet, yes.
And the reason why, on that landscaping sheet, we intentionally showed the points that you are seeing, which is a little too much.
Yeah.
That wasn't our intention, to show the points of where the existing trees are that are significant, to show where the proposed points will be, which are darker.
If I know the area a little bit, a lot of those trees right now are, what's the word I'm looking for? They're
Coniferous?
Yeah, that's the word. They're, so, but and I know this, I know the soil in that area gets to be a little acidic, but these trees are okay for that soil and,
The arborist report explains that.
okay.
I think the arborist,
Because
Had
I like the mix, they're great trees, I have some in my yard. They're
Did you guys include that, the arborist report, in your last submission? I don't think, could you just send it along electronically? And then I can forward that to you, Rick, if that would be helpful to you?
yeah, that
Thank you.
that may have gone to the conservation because we
Oh,
had
no,
a
as it
bigger
should have,
issue
as
related
it
to
should have,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, but
But if it,
I have a copy with me tonight.
if it would help him to understand.
Yes.
Sure.
So our rule for the tree bylaw is we have a number in there, you cut down a certain number, you have to replant in a certain number.
Correct.
But we also say, or what a plan that, established in someplace else, and because we realize it's not always easy to make a specific number. And usually what we're looking for is a sign of effort and consideration and thoughtfulness. So that if you show us that, you've looked at the situation, you planted what you can plant that's possible, you planted various varieties, you planted appropriate varieties, things with canopies, that's kind of what we're looking for versus a specific number. I think conservation, they're looking for a specific number. So, in terms of the tree, I'm okay with it personally. But, okay, that was what I was asking, just to make sure I understood.
We actually met, we did like a careful study of that, and we met, did a careful study of that in the arborist. We met the requirement for the planning board.
Okay.
That was like our intent.
Yeah, our intent really is to make sure we're keeping the canopy that we have in the town. We have a good canopy. And we got into the habit of saying, okay, you can plant an 18-foot pear tree. That's not providing a canopy. So we're moving away from that and making sure that we have 40, 50, 60-foot canopies. You're proposing trees that do that. To me, we're checking that box, it looks good, so just,
Just as they brought an arborist.
yes.
Unusual.
Yeah.
Nobody knows anything about these trees.
Wayne would be happy.
Okay, so, we'll go on to the SEA comments on the list at number 20 on page 21.
Yep.
We had indicated about the roof recharge for the houses, and what we suggest is that we don't want to have this get lost in construction. So we're asking that you consider doing this as a condition of approval, so that we're sure that it's witnessed when they go to do those, what the soils are, and that those roof recharge provisions are done at that point.
Is it a dry well, or is it a,
It could be a trench, or dry well, or a trench, depending on groundwater conditions, whatever works best at that point. So that at least if it's tied in there as a condition of approval, then that gives a heads up to both you guys, to the building inspector and so forth, to make sure that it, they don't get to the point of having occupancy without at least having addressed that.
Am I incorrect? I'm looking at C-121, and each house shows a filtration system, 2 filtration systems on each one.
Yes.
It looks to me that that's for the
For the roofs, for the roofs.
Yeah,
It's
but
part of like
there's
our
no
agreement.
information about the soils at that point, and whether or not it's gonna function well, or how it's gonna actually be done.
Okay.
So what we're asking for is that a condition that the bottom hole shall be witnessed by the design engineer or an agent of the town to verify soil suitability when they do that work.
We have no issue.
So if you want to hold that one aside as a possible condition of approval. Okay, so then, on number 42 on page 26.
Yeah, the reason I noted that one, Larry, was because if I look at C-101 on what they provided, the most recent copy, what you're calling out was still there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're showing it's very overlapping.
Yeah, it
That's
had,
the,
you had asked it to be removed and it wasn't.
yeah, yeah. And that gets back to, that's on a layer that should have been turned off and so forth. On, number
Is
43.
that one understood?
What was the comment?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The next item underneath that one is number 43. And we have a little bit of a disagreement here as far as that whole issue with the pond. I respectfully disagree with the answer provided. The depiction of the extent of the pond and resource areas will add clarity to the illustration. And I don't understand why there's such a reluctance to show the continuation of where the pond is in the illustration. I don't know why.
I think, we didn't think that it would add any, we've got a bit of vegetated wetland buffer zone shown on the plans, and so, for context, I'm sorry?
Nothing's gonna happen
So
beyond the buffer.
nothing's gonna happen, right, so I didn't, so again, this was a point, Mr. Morrow and Mr. Rockwell went out and talked about this delineation. This has not been resolved with the Conservation Commission, because we haven't been back there, and so that was what Matt had represented to us, that they had agreed on where they were gonna, how they were gonna delineate the edge of the pond. I think there are some issues getting to that site and getting out there and doing some physical issues to get physically out there to do some of it and to get into some of those areas. And so we didn't think to the expense that since it's not gonna change any design elements on the plans, and it's not gonna change any, we have whatever the stormwater management and the info, whatever, so it wasn't gonna change anything on the plan, so we're
But
trying.
even if the lines were continued from a GIS point of view, or information to show where it is to the viewer, to be able to look at the plan and say, this is where it goes, I'm not asking you to go back and
That's fine.
depict it.
If you want us to lay it out, as long as it wasn't something that I didn't want to represent, that we physically went out there and had any kind of agreement that this, I don't want to represent something on a plan that says we did this, we can make a representation that we took it from satellite imagery.
If there's an extension of that line, you can show on it being from GIS, the extension of it.
I
But it
have-
would give more clarity to the plan.
Can we do that? That we can do, I believe. I just didn't want to have to physically send
No, I
somebody
understand.
out there to do that, so I
As it
think we
does not
just.
affect what
You've
it's
kind of already
going
got
on.
the shape on the line. for the
We-
conduit anyway.
We,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so then after that, where are we? 43 pond flags, okay. Okay, so then, 54 on page 28. Okay. Yeah, our comment was, formatting for location on the profile is intended to assist the contractor in locating the structures for installation along the baseline stationing with the distance from the center line to the left and right. For example, CB7, station 5+04, 8.11 feet right. So it's just kind of a clarification of that. And it's just not, it's just to make it so that we don't have any problems when this goes forward to get constructed, that it gets done in a way. So we're asking that be done.
Yeah, typical to Mass DOT station.
It's sort of like the way Mass DOT does it, right?
no issues?
Okay. And then on page 55, the cover depth mismatch, and it was asked, is this resolved? So this depth of cover does not match the local street detail on sheet C502. So if you don't match that, you're either asking for a waiver, or you're going to show us that somehow our observation isn't correct.
Gonna let the engineers look at their plans, since that's outside my expertise.
So it's regarding the grading with the intersection here, because the road, it's actually on the pitch.
No,
So the road is pitching down, and then this thing goes like sideways into the road. So, I mean, to show like all the different grades on this sort of a layout, it's complicated because either you show like on one side or not. So, I mean, it's easy to fix. I mean, we just need to show like a highlighted of this area, put it like an insert with like
what
spot
we're asking.
grades. Yeah, spot grades. So
We agree?
the paving guy, yes.
That's all. If we
The
agree,
paving guy
just
can
say,
actually
okay, we'll-
execute that.
Okay.
And we also have no information of how deep the water line is. We have no existing conditions information of how deep that water line is on the street, you know, so.
And I don't know as though that you, if you don't have it, you can't say for certain.
On the proposed layout, we will be, but on the existing, we're tying into existing, so what's existing, we're tying into.
And the water department wasn't able to, they weren't able to give you anything.
No.
So, I mean, at that point, you would at least assume that it's probably 4 to 5 feet down, I would think. At least illustrating at that and say plus or minus on
sure,
it, which is, at least that,
that's
I
okay.
would say, fair.
We can resolve that.
That is always a problem. You get so much information, that you have to put it at 1/40 scale.
That's why the screen, and you can blow it up and see detail. I'm sure Mr. Silver appreciated getting the CAD. You can look at that.
As long as the contract is good.
Right. I know. We got big plans on site, though. Those usually are pretty big, but
The
even
thing I've been
still.
finding, I've been looking at the last couple of developments, and the quality of work has gotten so poor. You talked about sidewalks, curbs not meeting or lining up, brand new, they're not meeting up and lining up. They
Right.
Put in so poorly. And the grading is just, so I'm not really sure how to prepare for these things, whether you get the right person to, I think that's all it comes down to, reputable firm.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, we're at the point where Mr. Silver has gone over his points, and you guys have responded to them.
We have no issues with those, and we're willing to accept those.
And you made those
conditions.
submittals of the waiver request in writing?
I believe the waiver, the only waiver, there's only one waiver I think we needed or requested, which was the,
Yeah, it's shown on the front page of the plan.
I think it was a connection to another street,
An
which,
easement or-
an easement for,
Yeah.
yeah, we have no,
20-foot easement.
we'd have no way to connect to another street. We don't have, it's not possible based on this plan.
So is it the one, section 200-14 F2?
Right. So I
That's the waiver you requested?
physically have no way to connect to another street, so whether you technically need a waiver for that, if it's physically not possible,
You
or-
know, the paperwork trail.
we'll take it, that's what we put in writing for
That
that.
particular comment was just indicated that per that subsection of the subdivision rules and regs,
Right.
we
So
need to put it in writing.
Right,
they requested it, and we
Have
can
the
make
request
it,
in writing.
We need to put it in writing that we approve.
yes,
we can add
In their
that to the
vote.
decision letter. Yeah, in their vote.
Well,
Correct.
it says in writing,
Yeah.
is what the
Yeah,
reg says.
Yes, they have to make the request in writing,
And we have to
Respond.
approve it in writing.
we would need
separate
that,
from the other subdivision.
yep.
I would open it up to the public here first.
Yes. You guys have prepared very comprehensive, Larry, you guys have prepared a very comprehensive set of documents for us. Much appreciated. This is a very complicated thing to discuss. Now, I'm going to open this up to the public for comment. If you'd like to speak on this, if you could come up and give your name and address.
Actually, can you move it over just a smidgy? Because I don't know who wants to talk on TV land. No, that's okay, I can see everybody now. Thank you.
Thank you for your patience, ma'am.
Oh, Patience is my middle name.
When these guys are ready, I'll.
Lock me in.
All right, gentlemen, are we all set? Is the cable TV all set on this? All right, ma'am, name and
right.
address, please.
Good evening. For the record, my name's Elise McMenamin, and I live at 9 Hunts Pond Lane. I'm in a butter to the proposed Winter Fox subdivision at 44 and 54 Linwood Street. I want to begin by acknowledging that I understand the planning board's role tonight. You're not approving the houses themselves, you're reviewing the creation of the lots and the associated public improvements, including the roadway, grading, drainage, and pedestrian infrastructure. My comments are focused entirely on whether there's sufficient information for the board to confidently approve the infrastructure. I spent time reviewing the subdivision plans in detail. I'm an auditor, so it's just my nature. And also went to the project website to see whether there's additional supporting materials available for public review. At this point, I was not able to find stormwater reports, traffic analysis, or consolidated responses to peer reviewer comments, only the plan itself. As an abutter, that makes it difficult to fully understand the real-world impact of what's being approved. One important thing I want the board to know is that a majority of the neighbors here tonight on Zoom and in the room are present because of serious stormwater concerns. Many of us are already experiencing runoff, drainage, and seasonal groundwater issues. Adding additional surface, extensive grading, and a new roadway creates a real risk of worsening these conditions for abutting properties. I know it was stated that, all of the storm water is running into their property. That's not the case. I can tell you that every time it downpours on my property. Stormwater is one of the most significant and complex issues in subdivision approvals. From what I can tell, the stormwater system here is extensive and highly engineered, involving infiltration systems, culverts, and discharge points, without a clear, accessible explanation of how stormwater will behave during heavy rain effects and how the downstream impacts will be avoided. It's difficult to have any confidence in this proposal. I also want to raise a concern about the roadway design and grading. The proposed roadway appears steep in sections and requires substantial grading, particularly in connection with the bridge and the wetland crossing. While wetlands impact themselves fall under the Conservation Committee, the scale of earthwork required to construct and support the road is part of what the Planning Board is being asked to approve. With respect to pedestrian safety, I do see that a sidewalk is shown along the roadway. My concern is not the absence of a sidewalk, but whether a single sidewalk on a steep roadway with a bridge, winter snow storage, and limited roadway would this adequately address pedestrian safety. In winter conditions, snowbanks may reduce or block the sideway entirely, forcing pedestrians into the travel lane. In addition, the plans request a waiver eliminating the requirement for pedestrian continuation at the end of the cul-de-sac. Taken together, a single sidewalk combined with no pedestrian continuation easement effectively leaves pedestrians with no safe place to go beyond the roadway. I understand, despite the likelihood that people will be walking down the road to see whether there's access to the pond or open space beyond, might seem unlikely to you, but it happens. I once had someone show up at my house because Google Maps sent them there. On a narrow road with grades, a bridge, and emergency vehicle traffic, that presents legitimate safety concern. I also have concerns related to roadway width, emergency access, and winter operations. The roadway appears relatively narrow, and I do not see how snow storage will be handled without further reducing usable road width. This raises questions about whether fire, police, or ambulance vehicles can safely access and maneuver on this road during snow events or icy conditions, particularly on steep grades across a bridge. I also want to talk about lot buildability, specifically whether each proposed lot has sufficient contiguous upland under applicable local bylaws or wetland regulations. I'm not asserting that the lots are not compliant. I'm asking whether the determination has been clearly made and documented as part of this approval. Finally, I want to address the waiver being requested. Waivers are discretionary, and I would ask the board to carefully consider why this waiver is necessary and whether it is being requested because the site is physically constrained. If so, I believe that constraint should factor into the board's evaluation of the subdivision design and public improvements. I also want to state, and I don't think I've officially said this on record, but I want to put it on the record that my husband and I have expressed a sincere interest in purchasing this land and donating it back to the town to be used as a park, conservation area, or formal access point to Hunts Pond. We believe this property is far better suited for an open space and a public benefit than creation of multiple small lots that require significant grading, new infrastructure, and disruption to the surrounding neighborhood, primarily to maximize private value. We strongly oppose the subdivision as proposed. The level of disruption, including grading, road construction, stormwater infrastructure, long-term safety impacts, is significant for abutters and the neighborhood as a whole. For these reasons, I respectfully ask the board to proceed cautiously, ensure that all infrastructure-related impacts are fully understood before taking action. Thank you for your time and hearing my concerns.
Thank you.
Can I,
Anyone else, please?
could I have a couple responses? Okay.
Go for it. Go ahead, Rick.
Oh, okay. First, considering the amount of research and specific data you pulled out, I would highly encourage you to go work for the finance committee.
Yeah.
Like, they need someone with your ability to kind of get into the weeds and dig data and get to good conclusions, so that was really well done. But you raised a couple points that I have too, before we just go on any further. The pitch of the roadway is 6% in some places. Is that adequate? Is that sufficient? Is that too much?
No, it's not too much.
It's not too much, okay. What is kind of the upper limit before you start to run into problems?
Well, you know, I've been involved in subdivisions that exceeded, the rule of thumb really is 10% you start to get
Okay.
to be, you know, significant. But I can tell you that I myself presented a subdivision in Portsmouth, Rhode Island once and stayed under 10% because I thought that that was the best way to go. And I had the planning board in Portsmouth, Rhode Island say to me, no, we don't do it like that here. He says, that grade goes down 14%. We want that roadway to go down 14%. So, you know, but rule of thumb is that when you exceed, you know, when you approach or exceed 10%, now you're into serious roadways. But 6% is not significantly high.
She also brought up an amount of earthworks that need to be moved, earth disturbance. I had that question too. I was just wondering if this would be an okay time to ask. Is there a range with how much is going to need to be moved around to build the road, to build the building areas for the houses? Is there general?
Yeah, it's all based on fill, so there's a lot of fill that will be going on, not a lot of earth being removed from site, but fill being brought into the site.
Does your computer calculate that?
We can generate a cut and fill analysis report, but it's not a requirement under the regulation to submit that as part of the documentation.
No, but there is a regulation about bringing in fill, isn't there? We have to, or is that only when we take it out?
No, it's still there.
Okay. So we do need to know how much.
We do have a fill bylaw that you would need to fill out and come back to the board. I'm not sure how much that is right now off the top of my head.
Okay.
Was it 250
Cubic yards or something.
cubic yards? I think it was 100 cubic yards when the selectmen had it, and then the planning board bumped it to 250 cubic yards. So if you're bringing in more than 250 cubic yards, you have to come back to the planning board. So probably when you're getting ready to do construction and you'll be bringing, they just want to make sure that you're hosing down the streets and you have a truck route in and out, that they know what it is.
Yeah, that's also part of our comprehensive submission to the Conservation Commission, which includes operation and maintenance, and a SWIP will be submitted, which is stormwater pollution prevention plan, which will lay out the phasing of the project, how all erosion control will be controlled within the site, and so on.
If you could get us a copy of that for your stormwater piece of ours, if you didn't already include it. I know I have some of the stuff in your stormwater.
It's good to have all the paper. from
Yeah, no, the
everybody.
Yeah.
stormwater report includes the operation and maintenance plan.
Yep.
The erosion control plan includes some of what the intent is.
Yep.
But typically, once we go through Conservation Commission, that's when we submit the SWIP, and that's when we go to the NEPD's USPA general permit application, and that's when we submit the SWIP, which is a stormwater pollution prevention plan.
If
That's what I was
you could
about
just
to
get
ask
us,
you what that meant.
Yes.
get us a
Always
copy of
do it.
that.
It's an SWPP.
Always spell
Yeah.
out the acronym.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan, which basically goes through the phasing of the project. Each phase will have its own designated
Right.
spots for, piling material, and then we go to the next phase, and this is what we're gonna do on the next phase. This is what we're gonna do when the culvert goes in, and it's a kind of a sequencing plan that the US, NEPD's US APA, general construction permit requires.
Rick, you have anything else?
Just in defense of like the stormwater that I wanted to explain this, like and this is like not like a super rocket science. Our lot on that neighborhood is the slowest spot, and the reason for that is all the wetland that is on it. All the water naturally flows to that location and forms like natural ponds and eventually discharge into the pond. We meet today's regulation. Everybody else, like some of the subdivisions were done, like in the 70s or in the 80s, there was no requirement for storm water. I mean, whatever water falls on the ground, it falls on the ground. So they don't have to meet the requirements that we have to meet today. So like we did a drainage analysis for it, and we don't assume, and he, replied to that, that all the water is flowing towards us, and we're not flowing, it's the natural grade. I mean, when we do a stormwater analysis, we check the grades around us, and, like the water doesn't go uphill. So, and we are, we are tracing, like all, that was like one of the discussions that we had, like, with Silva on it. It was like that we have like the upper land over there that forms like a natural pond that receives like all this water, and we are containing the water there and then controlling the water as the water goes out. So the stormwater that we do today is like far more advanced, and we predict those things that the water is coming towards us, and we manage that to go out. But then the management is like to a certain stormwater capacity for 100-year storms. So like, like is a 6 inches of rain, that can happen on 100 years. 6, used to be 6, now it's like, towards the 8. Used to be 6, you see, like, a couple of years ago, it was 6 inches. Now, like, we up to like 8 inches, and we're managing the 8 inches on a 100-year storm, which is a lot of water. And we are containing that. But everybody else around us doesn't have to do that. There's no infiltration on her house. So, yes, she gets like, damage and flooding on it because it's not. So technically, the planning board should go and say like, all right, everybody that's having problems with flooding should go back and install like infiltration drains for the roofs, because all that water is flowing somewhere and it's not being controlled. That's the explanation to it. And we did like a very good, this site is very hard. And done like a very.
A lot stricter over the last couple of years.
Yes. And we meet all those requirements.
I guess when it comes down, one of the things she's asking is, it's very, I'm mentioning this because it's so typical to so many, every project comes in here now is all about water. But the biggest thing we've learned is that you got uncontrolled water now and you have water problems. Unless it's something extra that they could do, they're slowing it all down. And by catching it, all that existing water and then letting it go out at a particular rate, it will slow down the water.
Yes.
It'll have to go in its natural direction. But all that loose water that was going all over the place is now on the impervious surface. It's all being directed to a place to catch it. It's one of the toughest things to pass in this board now, for the last bunch of years, is to get past the water review. And our consultant is as tough as he needs to be to make sure that it's done.
All right, guys, I want to give the public more opportunity to comment on this. Is there anyone else in the neighborhood who would like to comment on this? Would you come up, please? And name and address, please.
Richard Hanna, 143 Mill Street. I live on the south side of them. Bob Armstrong built those houses on Linwood and Mill Street back 50-some-odd years ago. I have a split level. I've never had any water. 50 feet from my backyard is a rock wall that goes into that wetlands. There has been many times that wetlands has filled up to come to my wall. I'm concerned because You can't fool with nature, Mother Nature. You know, they're making the comment that the water's gonna be driven down the hill into the pond, which is great, but you can't guarantee it. I have a finished basement. What guarantee do I have after they build this and I get water? Can I sue them, or can they get, I know that you can't. Can I get insurance from them so that you get something done? I'm really concerned about it. Also, the house next to me, they couldn't come today, George Mantis, he gets water once in a while and he's concerned. He's lower than me. So my big thing is, you know, probably the best thing that could have happened, and I said this in the conservation, when Ryerson wanted to build one house up there, we should have let it go. But the price of the road that they would have had to put in, what they're talking about, this is 15 years ago, I don't know if you all were gonna do it, it was over $300,000. So today, it's gonna be over $1 million to drive that road in and put, you know, water, put fire hydrants, the whole bit. And, you know, if they're willing to pay for this, what are those houses gonna go for? Now, a little bit further down the street, Mr. LaPointe built a house. He wanted $1,100,000. When he sold it, it went for like 800. So he didn't get what he was wanting. Nice house. You guys were all involved with that in the back. But, you know, we gotta realize, I'm not saying we shouldn't have houses up there, but I think 3 houses is too much. Originally, they wanted 5. I couldn't believe it. You know, one was going right into the wetland. So this is my feeling, you know, it's not right. I mean, you know, they have all the best ideas. Okay, the water's gonna drop 40 feet and go into those culverts. Who's gonna maintain those culverts? And where are the culverts gonna dump? Into the water, into the swamp behind me or the marshland. That, you know, again, you can't fool Mother Nature. And whatever Mother Nature, there is an active river that goes through there underground. Mr. Beal, the farmer, used to tell me about it. I don't know if it's on any records, but, and he owned that pond at one time. So anyways, that's my 2 cents.
Quick
Thank you,
question.
sir.
Yes,
So when the water backs up to the stone wall, is
Yep.
it the pond that's building up, or is it that wetland area?
it's that
It's
wetland
a wetland
area, yeah.
So it
Because
doesn't-
that wetland area is a little bit higher than the pond.
Yeah, so
Yep.
it's not that the pond builds up, it's that the wetland itself.
Right, it's water coming down, yeah.
Okay. Out of curiosity, where in this map is your house? It's all. So this is your land here.
Yeah, right there, Hannah.
Yeah. So
And
you're,
this is all the swamp.
so where's your house? Is it here?
No, the house is, it's an L-shaped lot, and it's back here.
Your house is
I'm-
here?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
50 feet from that wall.
Okay.
Yep. Again, I'm not against putting a house up there. I mean, I know the other butters have problems with that, but it's too many. It's just too much.
So, just as a side note, I'd request in a future iteration to include the other houses along the abutting properties, just so that we can see it, because we can't, there's 4 properties that we have no idea where the houses are. So next time if we could have it, that'd be great. Okay. And the rock wall is, we're,
It's right on that boundary line.
right here?
It's the original, yeah. And it goes off to down back, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Are you saying it's the rock wall that stops the water?
No, it could be. I mean, it comes up to, at times, it'll come up to the bottom of the biggest rock on the bottom that fills it up. So if that wasn't there, it probably would come into my yard. I'm guessing on that.
So probably please.
But there has been times, like I said, it's filled up pretty good. I mean, last year, it was filled till April or May. So it depends on what kind of a season we get, rain, snow, whatever, so.
Thank you. I want to, is anyone else in the audience, would you like to make a comment before I go to the TV? Anyone else? Yeah, come on, sir. Name and address, please.
My name's Jim Hoyt. I live at 125 Linwood Street. To be honest with you, if this goes through, it won't affect me personally. So, I mean, I'm not here saying what's going to happen to me, but I loved her comment about reviewing the waiver, or at least paying attention to it. I thought that was a great comment. And I kind of want to follow up on that man's comment, like, so the neighbors that are in the area, if their house is flooded or their yards get wet, like, what repercussions do they have? And I'm not really looking for an answer. I don't know if there is one. But it just seems like, people have been living there 30, 40 years and now being told so these guys can make some money and leave, that the neighbors have to deal with the repercussions. That doesn't quite seem fair to me, especially when you look at the farm that's across the street, pretty near where that is. They put in 3 houses there. Excuse me, sorry. 2 of them, one of them they definitely had to get a waiver for, maybe 2, swearing that they would not get water in their basements. And the 3rd house was fine. All 3 houses got water in their basements. And one of the people even moved after a year of being there because the water was so bad. So it just seems like.
I just want to let you know very
Yeah, I'm sorry.
quickly.
I'm sorry.
That was part of the farmland that was sold off.
Yeah,
And those
yes.
were Form A lots. So.
I don't know what that means, but
so I know, so
Yeah.
like, they conformed,
Required.
There's no
they
review.
conformed with zoning.
Yeah,
and
I know,
they-
I'm sorry.
And it wasn't a subdivision, so
Yep,
the people
yep.
who bought that could just go in and build those houses.
I thought conservation, they had.
I don't
they
know
had to
what
get a
other
waiver.
boards they
Maybe it
needed
was-
to say, maybe zoning, maybe conservation, but I will
Oh,
tell you,
it
it did
could've been that.
not have to come through
Yep,
here.
I'm sorry, I
So
didn't
there
mean
was
to
no
imply that.
drainage review
Yep.
or any of that.
Yep, I didn't mean to imply that,
Yeah,
but
no,
thank
no,
you,
no, but
thank you.
I just wanted
Yep,
to, I wanted to let everybody know that that was not something that
Yep,
this board
yep,
ever
I
looked at.
apologize.
And you're not the first time that I've heard that. so.
Form A is approval not required. We don't have to go through a big review process
Yep.
on that. That was, anyway. Anyone else?
Oh, can I just make one more comment? I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize. And then this gentleman's comment about the infiltration systems, like the neighbors should just, and I could be saying it wrong, so don't quote me, but about the neighbors that have been there for years and years should be putting in infiltration systems. Again, it's saying the people who have lived here and paid taxes here for 30, 40 years now have to do something so that they can come in and make money. It just doesn't sound fair to me. And fair, I guess, is a vague term, but that's all I wanted to say, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you. Anyone else sitting out there?
Wait, we're not saying, they don't have to put infiltration systems into the houses that are being built.
No. He was just trying to, the difference between stormwater management now and then.
Yeah, okay.
It's way stricter
make
the
sure it
last,
doesn't-
last 2 years than, yeah.
Okay. All right, Liz, can we bring up anyone on the,
Yeah, if anybody who's zoomed in wants to make a comment, if you can raise your hand, and I can have you unmute yourselves one by one. Going once,
Put everybody to sleep.
going twice,
Camera on, everybody
Good
goes.
listeners.
right? They are good listeners. Oh,
Joe, Mr.
hold on. Mr. Slater, go ahead.
No, I'm set. I just wanted to let you know I'm still alive.
Thanks for checking in.
Well, we think these meetings are exciting,
Okay.
Anyone else out there?
No, I guess that's it.
I have a couple other questions if no one else does.
Do you want to answer?
Oh, no, I just,
Well,
Getting ready to answer some questions.
assume this,
So, it's hard dealing with water in the town because if the standard was you can never have water in your basement, Abington would be empty. Just, there's so many, houses have some pumps or at some point get water in the, I get water in my basement.
There's a lot of rock.
Yeah, it's,
The clay.
and I'm not saying that's an okay thing, that we were okay with water flowing in, but that's kind of where we're weighing, where if we get a couple storms in a row, all of a sudden you're gonna have, 40% of the town, there's some pumps are going. So, it's a challenging thing to do, how we just come out of a drought, so maybe the water can kind of soak in. It's all these other kind of different factors. I guess a point blank question for Larry is there any reason to think that the way this is designed, the water is going to worsen flooding or runoff into any of the neighboring properties?
It would not appear to me that it would do that.
Okay.
Okay, Rick, we have Mr. McKinnon. You're up.
Buzz and Jean,
Buzzy?
Hi, I'm Buzz McMenamin. I have a question on what's going to happen from here, are we going back to the Conservation Committee?
At some point.
Yep. Yes, the applicant said yes.
And who has the final say on how many trees get cut down? Is it the conservation or is it the planning board?
So I think from our conversation tonight that the conservation, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the conservation's bylaw is more restrictive and that will be their guiding document on the trees that are taken down and trees that are replaced
In the buffer.
in the buffer. So they will be able to adhere to the planning board bylaw within the conservation bylaw, because the conservation bylaw is far more restrictive than the planning board. In the buffer.
All right, thank you.
Sir, could you tell us where you live, please? The street address.
Right now, I'm in the frozen Florida tundra, but I live in Nashville during the summer.
We can't feel that bad for you, my friend, sorry.
Thank you.
Hunts Pond.
Thank you.
I claim him.
What a good girl.
Mr. Rubin, sir.
Oh, I'm just here naturally to see where we go. I have to be at the microphone.
Important just to note that the Conservation Committee back in May did highly suggest that the plan get reduced
Right.
to 2 houses. I just want that.
Okay, so they, just to respond to that, they never sent us any correspondence to this board.
No,
So I know.
It's on
Yep,
YouTube.
I know that's what they said, but they never communicated that with this board.
I know.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
A couple other questions if I can.
You did.
So if you're standing on Linwood, are you even gonna be able to see the houses from the road? I didn't think so. It goes downhill, it goes back uphill, and you're
I
planting
mean,
40 trees and,
If you're standing-
But it's not like it's jumping out at you.
They're gonna be 6 stories?
No.
And also gonna be it's just an opening
It's just, yeah, you got a narrow corridor that you're looking down, so it's gonna be, you'd be hard pressed to see anything other than maybe one of the houses.
how much of the site is within a floodplain? Just the wetlands areas?
It's pretty much confined to the wetland areas, yeah.
Are you looking to build houses within the 100-foot buffer? I know that's a conservation issue, but I'm just understanding. So one of the houses, you're gonna have to talk to them about building within a 100-foot buffer. Okay. That's not illegal, it's not prohibited, it's.
That's
but they
conservation.
You have to have a conversation with them about it.
Yeah.
Okay. When, after the road is built and they're doing plowing, the plows just go down, they push it over to the side. The snow is gonna go into the wetlands areas, or do you have to keep it on the road, or how does that gonna work? Because it's a bridge basically building over the lowland, so.
Hold on.
The fans.
Thank you.
I think there's 3, I think there's storage areas on the
Yes.
plans.
Yeah,
Not sure
but-
what sheet, yeah.
But realistic, when you plow, I mean, if you had like 18 inches of snow, like in one storm, I mean, it's gonna
go over the
it's
edge.
gonna go over the edge. There's nothing. I mean, keep in mind. I mean, this is like it's almost like a common driveway. Like when people are saying like about like access, like there's nobody. It's a private road. There's nobody going there. It's a dead end.
Is this gonna be a private road or something public?
Yeah, that's what I was
But
gonna.
there's no reason to travel down the road unless you're visiting.
But I'm saying, it's again.
Is
the
it-
town's
is it gonna be a
plowed.
private road?
It's not gonna be
It is public roads, public.
like, we have Pusateri Way, the town doesn't plow that one, that's its own. Yeah.
Public road.
So is it gonna be a private road or a public road?
Public road.
Public?
Yeah.
You're gonna,
That's your intention,
Yeah. So when the town goes down to plow it-
please reserve the fee in the road.
right?
If I'm involved in the real estate.
Please, I'm telling all of you right
I
now.
don't want you guys coming back in
Reserve
20
the
years
fee
from now
of the
getting the
road.
road accepted like we just went through earlier.
Certainly do my part.
So there
probably
wouldn't be any restrictions in conservation about
might still be on the
plowing it over out
planning
into that
board,
area or
God
plowing off the roadway or.
Yeah,
Gonna be
there are
rains.
snow storage locations mostly at the end of the road, so they're gonna be pushing
350
snow
years
to the end of the road, and there are 3 snow storage locations.
I guess, all right, so how do we tell the town that? So that when they're going through and.
That's a great question.
Right? So, yeah, they're gonna get the plan.
They do
They'll
put
get
signs
the
up
plan.
It's just human nature.
and it will
The
be-
Easiest place to push the
Right,
snow.
right.
That's where the snow's gonna go. If they got storage areas, it's gonna be pretty obvious.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, maybe we could put signs up.
The road-
SS Minnow, I don't know.
I don't
Very-
want to,
Throw the snow here.
Very last question.
snow's going
Do we have a list of all the permits and waivers they're requesting?
So they're requesting one waiver, and that is for 200-14F2, correct?
Can I
It's the only
yes,
waiver they're
speak to that for a
requesting.
minute?
And we have, if you were to look, if you're looking to approve it, you can use Larry's letter.
So this is straight up site plan review, this isn't a special permit, this isn't.
No, it's subdivision approval.
Could I speak to that for just a second?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Because there was a question raised about the waiver. So the stipulation in the subdivision rules and regs says a 20-foot wide minimum easement shall be required at the end of a cul-de-sac to provide for continuation of pedestrian traffic and/or utilities to the next street unless waived. Your point was that there's no next street.
We can't get to, not at the end of the cul-de-sac. We'd have to go to our abutter. There's no way to, there's no access point there,
Yeah.
so physically can't be.
Which I think that would be the basis for a waiver.
Other than you're bringing up the idea of people just naturally getting to the pond.
I'm telling you, people come down my private road. It's not a public road.
With fishing gear.
With fishing gear, looking for the ponds.
So, I mean, we can, 'cause we did the same thing on Sullivan Way, we can put signs up saying, this is not a throughway to the state park.
Right.
So, I mean, we can.
Yeah, we can say not a throughway.
sign.
We
There's-
have private property signs. It's not gonna stop people on Google Maps.
I mean, we
I just
can't.
want to, let you guys talk in a minute. Sir, in the back with the black jacket, would you like to make some comment on this, please? Yeah.
That's, Sid is,
I just want to make sure we have all the public comment.
wait, this is Winter Fox.
That's the owner.
He's our owner. He's our principal.
Okay.
Did you want him to make?
No, just identify yourself.
Winter or fox?
So basically, my name's Eduardo, and yeah, we've been dealing with this project for over 3 years now. Like since we went to start to do the wetland delineation, and then we went for a couple properties. I remember the neighbor when they had the intention to buy the property, and we said, no, we're not willing to sell because I'm gonna build my own house here. And that was one of the begin when first I spoke with this gentleman and his father. And since that day, I felt that like, oh, if they're not selling to us, we're gonna make their life miserable. And we've been going back and forth. I know it was a lot of things that we had to adjust. And we went back and forth. We adjusted what you guys was looking for. That's for better for everyone. I know the neighbors, they might be concerned, the water table, this and that, but like as you guys all saw, I don't think we'll have a problem with that. And we did, on the beginning, we had like, we planned to do 4 houses because, yes, the streets are very expensive, like the neighbor was saying. And we cut 1 lot, we did 3 lots, very like a nice neighborhood for whatever was gonna buy that houses. And I'm still under the impression that I'm gonna live in one of those. And I hope that you guys can take into consideration for all the work that these guys did here and all you guys do the work to make sure that it's not other problem in the future. And I hope you guys can join and approve this.
Thank you. I just wanted
Thank
to
you.
make sure you had your say. So we've had extensive public comment. The proponents have made a presentation. Our consultant, Mr. Silver, has done his presentation in response to this. So it comes down to, are we ready for a vote on this?
Vote to close the public portion of it?
Yes, please.
I'll make that motion.
Someone second that, please? So the motion's been made and seconded to close the public portion of this meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next thing we move on to is to vote and approval. or deny it?
However you guys want to do it.
Yeah, would you state what we're looking to approve, please? Larry or Liz?
You're approving the subdivision application
With Larry's.
for Winter Fox, contingent upon resolution of any outstanding items in Larry's January 20th, 2026 SEA's letter.
Just a question.
And also including, so I don't know how you guys want to do this, but I think for own administrative record, because you've asked for a stormwater waiver because we're doing the subdivision application, but I think for our administrative record, if we could have, when you're done with conservation, all that stormwater information, so the SWIP and everything else that you reconcile with them. So you could make that a condition. If you could send us the botanist report, so the board members can take a look at it and just see the trees that you would like to plant.
Arborist.
Arborist, right? There was
wanna make
there was a
sure we're in the
botanist thing
right-
going on there for a minute. The arborist report, and then I think they wanted to see an iteration of maybe your final plan where you show those other houses on Linwood Street that kind of abut the back of the property. Mill Street, sorry. Mr. Hannah's house.
Clean up the layers.
Clean up the layers.
That's all part of ours codes.
Yep. I think after you go to conservation and the trees,
Sure.
if you can send us that plan, just so we can send it to Larry to verify that you've done what you're supposed to have done.
Sure.
With that.
Sure.
Okay, we've,
Can I
this is,
add the obvious? If the conservation makes any substantial changes to the plan, they gotta come back.
Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of my concern is, one, I feel like we still have a lot of things. And we have plans that are kind of could be a little bit cleaner, and we have some questions we've just been discussing tonight, and we still don't know what conservation is gonna determine on anything. I think we feel okay with the general layout, but I think there's still some details to kind of review. I don't know if there's a way we can give a conditional and send it to conservation, but I'm not really comfortable right now kind of giving a complete.
well, here's a route, excuse me, I appreciate it. Here's a route that I suggest. We can vote up or down on this now, but we can, if we do decide, if we do vote to approve this, we can make this conditional upon comments from the Concom and making sure that all comments that have been made here are addressed. And Mr. Rubin and his crew seem to be amenable to following the suggestions that Mr. Silver has made tonight. So that's just a suggestion that I'm making as a way to go forward on this.
And I just want to remind you guys too that after conservation makes their decision, that they have to return a plan to us that addresses those comments. And Larry has to
Yeah, and I don't think
say it's okay.
Not that I'm an engineer, but I don't think it's gonna change the roadway layout at all.
We didn't think so either. That was the whole point.
That's.
That was one of the issues, is that we needed to certify the
So
road.
it's anything,
For
all of
sure.
a sudden you gotta start changing roadways off.
Then we'd have to come
the
back.
obvious stuff,
I
yeah,
mean, I don't,
right?
Okay, so this is,
I think,
just what,
yeah, I think the catch-22, Rick, is that some of what conservation may have said to these folks is, when you get planning board approval, then come back.
Okay.
So if we,
if,
then they're kind of stuck.
we can't,
If
we
we don't-
gotta get somewhere, at some
Whether
point.
we approve or we don't approve, if we don't take that action,
okay.
then the conservation committee says, well, we told you not to bother coming back to us until you had approval.
Okay, our town planner, Ms. Shea, has stated the motion, we've had discussion, and now it's time to vote, gentlemen.
Actually, I didn't state the motion.
Actually, the motion, huh?
I told you what it could be,
Okay.
but somebody on the board had to say the motion.
So,
I
okay,
have one more question here.
Yep.
And this goes back to stormwater. So, We heard that the operation and maintenance plan had been submitted. That, we have that, right?
Yep.
Okay. And names and addresses of the people responsible for operation and maintenance, we have those?
Well, it says Winterfox LLC on the cover. So I'll hold you responsible for the operation and maintenance.
Now we know who Winter
He's,
Fox is.
he's shaking his head in an affirmative manner. Is that where it
You've
is?
been on TV, so we know who you are.
Ultimately, he's responsible, but obviously the engineers have everything.
So our stormwater regs specifically are calling for a person. Names and addresses of the persons responsible for the operations and maintenance. And I think that was done that way for a reason. I mean, I think we've seen where detention basins don't get maintained. And so it's trying to establish some direct accountability to somebody on the record to say, you're responsible for doing this. I don't think a corporation name satisfies that.
Until it becomes a public way, then it's a town.
Oh, and they do intend it, let's be clear, they do intend it to be a public way. Okay.
So again, the question becomes the names and addresses of the persons responsible for operation and maintenance.
It's on the operation and maintenance.
Yep. The persons responsible for financing, maintenance, and emergency repairs, and a maintenance schedule that includes routine inspection along with routine and non-routine maintenance tasks for each BMP. We're talking about a location that is water and lowlands, and there's been a lot of back and forth on the detention basins, the drainage, all of that. So I think those things that are in the stormwater regs become very important, perhaps even more important in the case of this particular subdivision, which is why I'd like to make sure that we have that information, because we're supposed to have it.
Well, I was going to say, I was going to add to that, because on your plans, it says, see details on sizing the stormwater report, which means it should be printed and put into this, so they don't have a separate document.
So those things, Liz, those are part of the stormwater regs.
Right, and they've asked for a waiver of that, but they do need to be included part of the subdivision for their approval of that. I think that's where the disconnect is, because they've asked for a waiver of the stormwater because they're doing subdivision approval. But I understand what you mean. They didn't fill out a separate form, they've asked.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I think what it says is that when we do if we do an approval of the subdivision,
Right.
then
They have
that
to.
implies, that gives them a permit.
Right.
That-
Yes,
that's
yes,
a-
yes.
That's approval of the stormwater.
Yes, yes, but they do have to provide that.
It's in the stormwater report, the last appendix shows that.
It's in the last appendix, right?
Yeah, it's on the last appendix, it shows everything they just iterated. And his signature stating that he's responsible.
Okay.
And
Yeah, the illicit discharge compliance.
that's the
Yep.
and then before that, it shows an operation and maintenance plan with schedules, how to operate them, what to do with them periodically, and it shows his signature and the.
Yeah, and so that's the thing.
It's
is
in the
that
report.
The stormwater reg is looking for that kind of accountability.
Yep.
In that report.
If that maintenance doesn't happen, who are we calling?
Yes.
Who are we going to?
Not Ghostbusters.
Not go-
We went through that the last one. All right, gentlemen, I'm not trying to rush you along, but I am trying to move this along. So we've had discussion, we've had public comment, we've had presentations. Are we ready to vote on this? If so, would someone like to make a motion?
I would like to hear back one more time the conditions of approval.
Okay, I
That
want to
we're-
show you that. So that is actually in there. Can I have a current address? Because you don't have a mailbox at 44 and 54 Linwood
No,
Street,
no.
right?
I give you my home address.
Okay. You know what, you can email it to me. I'm going to trust you.
I'll email it.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Okay,
Listen,
so,
All of these things become conditions of approval, I think.
okay.
so it's Larry's letter, dated January 20th, 2026. Do you want to do only the open items? Otherwise, The whole letter has to go in.
No, so these particular items were the ones that were,
No, so only leave the open items in as the conditions. Everything else that's been resolved, I don't have to include in the decision letter. Is that okay? Okay. All right, so Larry's letter, leaving only the dated January 20th, 26. The open letter, the open items. The landscaping, they're gonna get back to us after they go to conservation.
for
Trees.
item 8 under the Concom
Yes,
items.
yes,
The other one, they're going to conform to our, so
yes.
that's fine.
The waiver's gonna be a separate vote. That after they go to conservation, they're gonna submit all stormwater information for our administrative record. Not the botanist report, the arborist report. It's gonna send that along. You're gonna include the Mill Street homes on a further iteration and then clean up the layers.
Yep.
And then if conservation or any other board you have to go to makes any substantial changes, you'll come back to the planning board.
We'll be back, hopefully.
And then,
Basically, it'll come back to me for a final review. before it
yes,
comes to-
yes, so you'll have to prepare a final complete plan probably after you go to conservation.
Yes.
And then Larry will review that to make sure that you've complied with everything in the letter. And then, you've requested a waiver, which you guys can vote separately, of 200-14F2 of the Town of Abington subdivision rules and regulations.
So did you allow for these things in that?
That's in Larry's letter. All the open comments will be the conditions in the decision letter.
The resolution of those? which we-
Resolution of
Yes,
the
yes.
open items.
Which
The
is,
open item.
which is, we heard tonight.
Yep.
We have a way to resolve.
Those have all been
those.
agreed to? Yep,
Those are acceptable.
yep. And then the Mill Street, the stormwater info for the administrative record, the homes, the arborist report, and then any substantial changes by another board.
Okay, board members, are we satisfied?
So, Mr. Chairman, just so you know, I'm going to be voting no, and the reason for it is not necessarily that I think it's a bad project, it's because the length of time that we just had to take to list all of the conditions and stuff and run through everything and make sure everything's right, I feel like we just need to get everything clean and just have everything in front of us so we can look at it and not relying on memory and notes and everything else we just talked about, and hopefully we included everything. I just feel like sometimes we rushing it for the sake of rushing it instead of saying, all right, let's just pull it all together, make it nice and neat, and then we can talk about it, have a clean vote the next time. So I don't think that this is a bad project, but it's just there's so many moving pieces and things that we're still talking about that I can't do it at this point.
Okay, well, appreciate your comments, Rick. Do we have the option of continuing this, or?
Well, you've closed the public hearing.
We've closed the public hearing.
Yeah.
So we've closed the public hearing, and Rick, we've heard your comments. I think that Liz has spelled out all the conditions, and Rick Shepherd, to your satisfaction, Bob, to your satisfaction? Jeff, to your satisfaction?
It's consistent, yes.
Okay, then let's vote on this.
I'll make the motion.
Bob's made the motion to approve this with all the conditions, and we're gonna have to do another thing too.
And Larry's gonna review it before.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, right.
And
Yeah, you can't get a
I'll
building
second
permit
it.
till,
I'll second that. If I thought this
Yep.
was gonna go without being reviewed, okay, I live in the animal.
so this is the first vote, because we have another thing to vote on.
yep.
Larry's
Yeah,
gonna-
So
okay.
who was the second on that?
Jeff.
Jeff, thank you.
So the motion's been made by Bob, seconded by Jeff.
I'll see.
Rick's gonna abstain. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And Rick, you're voting
No.
no.
No. And now we have another thing we need to vote on.
And then you're gonna
I'll make the motion on the waiver.
grant the waiver?
So Bob's made the motion to grant the waiver. Someone want to second this?
Of 200,
Yeah, I'll second that.
How much is it, Liz?
200-14-F-2 of the Town of Abington subdivision rules and regulations? Is that what you're doing?
Hope everybody watching this is paying attention to this stuff. Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded
Yeah.
on granting the waiver. All those in favor?
Aye.
You all set with this, Rick? Or did
Yep,
you-
I could, yeah.
And you're
Supported.
voting for that, Rick? Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else we need to vote on?
No, that was it.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you, neighbors.
Oh, Mr. O'Leary, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. All right. I may get the foils to work too, maybe.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Peacing out of here? Are you peacing out?
This is the first night, and I can't tell you how long I haven't gone to the nursing home. See my mom.
Oh, hope you're not.
That's all right.
Go see Mother Teresa. So my wife went tonight to go see
Oh,
Mother
there
Teresa.
we go.
Yeah.
They're probably talking smack about you,
Oh, they do, yeah, they do. They gang up on me sometimes, you know?
as is appropriate, just saying.
It's amazing how she's made the adjustment.
Hey, gentlemen.
Hey, Larry, thank you very much.
Larry,
Great job
Thank
on
you.
this.
Awesome job.
Great job on this.
And
Thank you.
Good night.
And I appreciate Rick's comments too. I think that either way works. We just gotta make sure that it's right where it needs to be.
Right, yes. You're worth every dollar we pay you, sir.
Which, unfortunately, it'll be when it comes back from conservation, right?
Yeah.
That we can, so you're probably looking,
I call everybody sir, including mine.
anyway.
Because I've worked before.
She's fabulous. Did she just get her hair done?
It's just gonna hit 97. You know, there she
Isn't
goes.
she amazing?
97.
Wow.
Yeah.
She looks great.
Yeah.
So wait for Mr. Soper to return, and then we'll resume this and try to wrap this up.
Larry, great job, thank you.
Thank you.
This is, it
Thank you. That
turned out
was-
pretty good.
Take care now.
That was not an easy
Larry,
lift.
This was
drive safely.
Used to.
Stay off the
This is to
survey
have
parties.
Some controversial subjects we just don't,
Okay.
what we do here, because it costs money.
I know. Can we exhale now?
All right, so everybody understands tomorrow night's meeting is canceled? Okay. Oh,
Is tomorrow night the selectmen are talking about the chicken coops?
no, that was Board of Health tonight across the hall.
Tonight?
Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't you hear them?
No, my wife told me it was gonna be Tuesday night, so I was all prepared to go back, bring my chickens in there.
I watched the selectmen's meeting. That's what- Okay, Bob.
You know they're different chickens, right? Do they have names?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, we don't know, you can't tell a chicken apart. Are you
Oh,
kidding me?
Kidding, they're all.
They all look different.
All right.
All right, guys, we're gonna continue this. You wanna do the minutes?
Let's zippity-doo down the minutes.
January 5th, 26th?
Was there only one set of minutes, because I had a copy of the January 5th.
Yes, we had two at once that were floating around from last month, and I think we resolved everything last month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're a popular guy.
No, it's a friend of mine who keeps spending sports stuff. but that's
Oh,
not-
okay.
He's down in Virginia, yes. Okay. So did everyone get a chance to look at the minutes?
Yep.
Someone like to make a motion to accept them as amended or written?
Motion to approve as presented.
Okay, motion made to approve as presented. Someone want to second that?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We don't have any correspondence.
One.
Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Whoop, whoop.
So,
Bob's abstaining because you were absent.
on page 3, update town planner, in that section, the last item down, Rick Collins stated in the revised charter, all boards are required to adopt policies, et cetera, and Liz mentioned a process document is on the website, and I think, Kevin, you were gonna forward the document for the board to review?
I did. You did.
You did?
I did. Yep.
Did you email it?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta go back and look then. I don't remember seeing it.
I
but-
can resend it.
No, if you emailed it, then I got it someplace.
It was like the next day you sent it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just quickly, I know, while you're talking about that, I was gonna talk to the town manager, now that we have a town manager in place. that, I don't know if they're going to adopt a policy for everybody. I don't want to be like a wild horse board, right?
Why not?
Why not?
I guess we could.
For what I brought up with the charter thing?
Yeah.
I was, yeah, I mean.
Did you talk to him at all, or?
No, I
Okay.
have to, but I didn't want to bring it up to them until we had done it ourselves, otherwise
Okay.
it looks super critical, so.
That's fine. So how about we put that on the March agenda
Yeah.
Be great.
to talk about? Okay.
Okay. So the minutes, no correspondence. Everybody look at the ZBA agenda. Anything stick out at you?
Just a comment, I guess. Which one?
Block Street or
No, the other one.
Norton
Block
Ave?
Street is what it is. Block Street is tough.
Those properties are so small and tight.
The irrevocable trust one, they're trying to make, it's 30,000, it's an R30 zone, which they have a little over 30,000 square feet, and they're trying to break it into 2 lots. I don't understand, that's the one that butts the cemetery. Remember, we had the conversation.
Yes, we did.
So it's only a little over, and I assume, I assume that, unless it's in pretty good hardship, that the zoning board's not gonna do that, but.
So did you want
Not
to
anymore, anyway.
did you want me to send them a
Yeah,
note?
just.
Saying that you're concerned that a lot that barely conforms is going to be
Just barely
two,
conforms, and they wanna make 2 smaller ones.
non-conforming lots, right?
It's not the way
No.
it's not the way it's written, but yes. So, the property is located at 42 Norton Ave, medium density R30. So they want lot 1 from 30,000 to 16,214 square feet, and lot 2 from 30,000 to 15,823. So I'm assuming the lot now is only a little over 30,000 square feet, and they want to make 2 that are almost half of what the zoning district.
If it's an R30 zone,
Right.
how can you do that?
Well, you need a variance.
There's an awful.
This is my point.
There's an awful.
And that's what they're asking.
It's, yeah, I think it's 32,000, my quick math.
Right, so
32,
it's roughly 32,000 square feet, and they're trying to break it into 2 lots, so it's up maybe a little bit over half each lot.
Block Street's got
It makes
So we have
no-
enough-
Makes no sense to me.
We have a lot of non-conforming lots in this town.
Yes, I understand that, but to create one is.
No, we have enough
something.
as it is.
What a precedent that would set.
Okay.
If all of a sudden you let everybody just,
No Form A applications
two.
tonight. Nope. And since we defined what that was earlier, we did the Gordon Circle with Larry.
Yeah.
You guys get a chance to look at the stormwater management application checklist?
yeah,
So after our last meeting, we went back and revised, Kevin went back and revised the application and added all that information at the top for the people's names and addresses and
so,
like during construction and after road, just for a quicker checklist for us.
yeah, which I think is a really good idea and what you need. I would go back to 10.3, item 2, and look at what is required under items A, B, and C, which is what we were talking about a little bit earlier in the meeting. So we're looking for names, and you've got email address here, but I don't think we're looking for email addresses. I don't think that's what the regulation calls for. I think it
Phone
looks-
number and address?
I think it looks for number and address.
Okay.
So again, the bottom line here is that we want accountability. So on an ongoing basis for these things that are in the stormwater regs, if there's ever a problem, that somebody's name is on the dotted line.
Okay.
And we know who we're calling and we know who we're calling on the carpet.
So I have a phone number.
I'm gonna skip over economic development ideas, I'm gonna say that for last. Everybody a chance to look at the annual report that was prepared?
Yeah, I had a couple small notes.
So actually, I want to let everybody know that Kevin did that this year.
Thank you.
Because I got the crown to do the town report, so I let Kevin write ours.
I made sure I did my the house address.
Yes, you did.
With pictures.
Yep.
We say 3 or 4 site plan development proposals, wondering why we were hedging like that.
So, planning board reviewed 3 or 4 site plan development proposals. Sorry, what was your concern about that?
Because it's either 3 or 4. It's got to be, I think we fixed that on a version.
We fixed that in a.
Sorry, you didn't get the latest version. Yeah, I did catch that.
Yeah. We fixed that.
One note I kind of wanted to add was, I'm sure the board noticed, we've been kind of slow the last few months.
Last year.
Yeah, so I feel like we need to have a note in there saying, like, that's a point of concern, because that means that we're not seeing growth, investment, that sort of stuff, like, just as kind of a note for the public.
Letting everybody know
that we've had a slow year, and that's not a good thing. One other, on the page 2, I would just change fire department and Department of Public Works buildings to complex, because it was also the roadways and drainage and all that stuff. It wasn't just the buildings, just to be annoying about it. I don't know if we want to say anything about the fact that we also reviewed the soil testings initially, but apparently, you know, whatever. And then, as we get down into the list of all the grants, which is just phenomenal, it's incredible, the amount of grant money that we're bringing into this, your office is bringing into this town. I think it'd be great to have just one sentence up top saying, summarizing it all up. So in 2025, the planning department brought in $1.8 million in grants or something like that, just so people can see that right up front. I mean, pat yourselves on the back, because it's remarkable what you've been able to do.
Thank you.
The nature-based stormwater resilience project, is there any other detail we can put in with that?
So we've really just kind of started that. We're doing like data
Okay.
gathering. It's going to be a 2-year project. I mean, we could add that we're going to work collaboratively with, do we have Rockland in there?
Yep.
And that we're going to work with a science class in the school. So I think we could add that too. I'm not sure that that's in
Okay,
there.
so I didn't know if we had a specific project or if that was, okay.
Yeah, no, we're going to do some modeling and try to model where all this stormwater is. I know it's a hefty load for 2 towns.
The MBTA Catalyst grant?
Yep. That's the new water pipe going
Yeah,
past the,
why the connection to the MBTA,
because we,
or MBTA community?
the governor decided to reward communities that had adopted
Okay,
the MBTA Communities Act
So that's part of that, too.
all right.
and set up a separate fund for it.
So basically, the news is that instead of having the $1.2 million project on our water rates, it's a state grant to get it
Yeah,
done.
or coming out of Mass Works or anything like that, because we were proactive and adopted, I want to say, it's kind of a pat on the back from the governor.
I wouldn't
Here's a
mind
fund.
adding that sentence in there, because the town was proactive in adopting MBTA communities, we got a $1.2 million grant to replace the water main. The next paragraph, that second sentence, zoning bylaws comprehensive zoning review.
The towns, for a concept comprehensive review.
Of the town zoning bylaws.
Yep.
And the very last one. Traffic calming and crossing treatments.
Yep.
Do we know where, or is that still under?
Hancock Street and Center Ave.
Hancock Street Center.
Because of the train on Center Ave.
So
I'm just trying to blank which one's Hancock Street all of a sudden.
Center Ave is where the LaPointe.
Off of Rockland Street. Go up Rockland Street, take a right.
Yeah.
Go all the way down.
198 Center Ave.
And, I mean, I think what we're hoping to do with some of this, well, all of the data that we get from this will feed into the OCPC overarching grant that they got. But we're hoping to, like, eventually try to figure out how to make travel safer for pedestrians and bicyclists on that road.
Okay.
Kind of end goal.
Thank you.
Anything else, Rick?
Nope, thank you.
Okay, so I guess we can,
Wait a minute, I got one.
of course.
The board would like to thank other town boards for their input. And I think that the sentence that comes after that is the board would also like to thank Liz and Kevin
Thank you.
for their invaluable support and assistance throughout the year.
Should say the greatly
Second.
Okay.
underpaid.
No, don't say that. Don't give them swelled heads.
Very quickly, that zoning grant that we got, filed this under town planner update. I have a Word document version of that now, of our zoning bylaw. Does anybody want a copy of that to start poking through? You got one.
Yes, I do.
You got one.
Would you email me one?
Yeah, I can email it to everybody, I can print it out if you want, whatever you wanna do.
I'll take a hard copy.
All right, so,
So you're gonna do
and I'll
that?
email it to everybody else, and then, like in the next 6 months or so, we're gonna be providing feedback to our consultant at Old Colony Planning Council. So if there's stuff in there you find, just send it along and I will pass it along to him.
Was that the man we met a couple of meetings ago? There was somebody here that.
Jason?
Jason?
Jason DeRossi, I don't know that he was here for anything.
I thought somebody was here saying that they were gonna be the person reviewing the bylaws.
Bylaws, that's a committee that Liz and
Maybe.
I.
So I haven't, and again, if anybody wants to attend, that's fine. I just didn't want to take up everybody's time on this small group. It's the building commissioner, it's a member of the zoning board of appeals, it's Bruce, it's like the two chairmans of those boards, and Kevin and I and Jason. But if anybody wants to sit in, we're just going to be going through and, the scintillating zoning bylaw.
It's exciting stuff.
All
right.
stuff that's, we don't need anymore, stuff like that.
So we have a consensus. I know there's been many amendments, and hopefully we get a clean copy, but this is a consensus of the board to endorse the planning board town planner report.
Yes.
Okay, done.
All right, we'll send you a clean copy.
Okay. Request for bond reduction, Robert English Lane. See this?
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I know Rick wanted to talk about this, and I was hoping that somebody would be here to discuss the bond reduction.
How long ago was that project? That seems like a long time ago. English Way?
I actually don't have a lot of updates for you. Bruce, do you need to leave?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
No, I'll be.
You don't need to be home by 9?
No, I'll be home by 9.
Bachelor one.
So they are trying to get stuff done and get it off their
Okay.
bond and get their bond reduced. Dave provided that latest Form L for everybody. As I said, the warrant opened. I anticipate getting a roadway acceptance plan for Robert English Lane. I had reached out to council about the other two roads, and I forwarded that information.
The last time he was here, he was trying to get them both, right?
Both of them are gonna have to be accepted,
Right, well, that's what he was trying to,
right?
he was gonna be the lead
I
guy.
I don't have an update on that. I haven't heard from them on the status of that. I did, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, forward them what town council said, which was that they would recommend.
Who did this?
Dave,
Dave did?
yep.
Wow,
He's still around?
he still does some.
He's finishing this up, and then I think that'll be it, probably.
Yeah, well, there's kind of no reason to hold that up.
Well, sooner or later, he's gonna move to Maine. So.
We need to do to endorse. Do we need to
So
vote?
is this the dollar amount that they're asking for?
To do the bond reduction?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're talking about that now. So that is the new amount, according to Dave.
I'm sorry, 31,000 we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's the amount that the request is to
To reduce the amount of surety held,
by 31,000?
no, to,
231,000.
yeah.
I got you, okay.
Hold please, I lost my little. That's where you're hiding, yeah.
Okay, discussion, we've done. Could we get a motion to approve the request for bond reduction? So you made that motion, Bob? Someone want to second it, please?
Second. Only because we have to.
Motion made.
To $31,000, right?
31K. yes.
Okay.
All right. Motion made, seconded. All those in favor? Aye. And economic development ideas, we've got a lot of that in the packet. I think that's going to be a continuing item on our board agendas. Talk about that. And with that,
No, we have to vote to continue.
we need to vote to continue 200 Wales Street continued. Yes.
Motion made.
Yeah, Liz, Sean Riley sent us a thing.
Second.
Okay, so the motion's been made to continue this?
Yep.
200
Second.
Whale Street 2,
To our March meeting?
March meeting.
Yes. Okay, motion made and seconded to approve.
Can you make it actually till March 31st? I hate to be persnickety, but that's what happened here with the two meetings. So if we can continue it till the end of the month, then you'd have time to reschedule if we get snowed out.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to see that happen, but I just
No,
That's fine.
continue to March 31st.
continue to March 31st. So the motion's been made to continue this to March 31st, and seconded
By Rick.
by Rick. All those in favor?
I would like to think we're not having that much snow by March 31st.
No, I hope to God we're not. I hope we're not having it at the beginning of March. I don't want it.
224.
So just an FYI, I think the town manager is going to be working on some economic development things, I think the business council specifically.
Good thing.
I just didn't have time to update it. I talked with Rick over the break, and I have an idea how I want to present it, put it together. I just didn't have time to put it into the presentation form to send it off to him.
Okay.
I've sent it off to the board, so I hope to have that for the next meeting.
Very good. All right.
We'll take a shot at combining your stuff and whittling the TIF down to the important information and send it out to you guys.
Good meeting tonight.
Did you get that?
I tried to move this as long as best as I can.
You did.
No, like a vote.
And
They
so,
endorsed it.
do I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. And it's a good meeting tonight.
Got a vote?
Yeah.
Bob, I gotta write you a
Motion
check.
to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
That was by Bob, seconded by who?
Aye.
Rick?
Yes.
Everybody voted aye?
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you.